Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday, February 16th. Yesterday, Bitcoin rallied and most of the cryptos rallied around 10% or so. So pretty big day for them. Biggest dollar gain we've seen since 48,000 for Bitcoin. So exciting stuff for those following crypto. In regular markets, we are pretty blood red, down 0.66 basis points. Sorry, 66 basis points. So not so great in pre-market, but we'll see how the day goes for you bulls out there. Welcome back, everyone.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty bullish still. I'm hoping for a green day. I like how SPY goes down during pre-market and then comes up to recover my optimism. But I digress. We'll see if it happens today.
Curious to hear Scald's thoughts.
Opinion, how are you doing, buddy? You were just getting hit on all sides. Like Avatar Trading was bullshitting on you. And then there's this like article that came out in the news that was like about the previous founder of WallStreetBets. You holding up all right? Just want you to know we appreciate you, man. We really do.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, yesterday was a pretty intense day for me. But you know, these things happen. I don't know if it was Avatar Trading though or cryptocurrency. People over at Avatar Trading have been generally pretty cool.
Oh, it might have been our cryptocurrency, yeah, but it was the whole thing was good. There was that, and yeah, the whole thing was goofy. So,
yeah. For more context for those who are out of the loop, at least for the Jamie Rogozinski thing, it looks like he's suing Reddit.
Who?
The founder of WallStreetBets, Jartek. So he's got a lawsuit out, and you can go read it. I think it's like 25, 30 pages or something like that. Interesting read, but I probably shouldn't comment on it either way. So I won't talk about it, but you guys are welcome to if you'd like.
Just keep it fact-based is usually what my lawyers say. That usually saves you.
How much? I'll keep it fact-based. I got a fact base for you guys. Let you guys know that I love WallStreetBets at the end of the day. And the community has grown and matured in a lot of ways. And I would also say at the end of the day that last time I saw Jamie, he was on a lot of interviews, did a good job, and a lot of other interviews as well. I'd say stay on TV, stay out of court.
Continue with fact-based information. Opinion has already bought his ticket to Argentina, who does not extradite, so nobody has to worry. He will be perfectly fine, and life will go on. So he'll have a great time in South America. It's going to be wonderful for him.
It's funny that you say that because I'm actually flying out to Brazil literally tomorrow.
Listen, folks, interpret from this what you will. The point is, it's very easy to go from Brazil to Argentina, and who knows, maybe his passport just got messed up and he just can't get out of the country anymore. He's kind of stuck there for a little bit. Who knows?
I think
the Amazon rainforest is a pretty big rainforest.
I was gonna say I think I know why we're going to Twitch.
Anyhow. And I'm just gonna throw this out there. You know, if you knock up an Argentina, woman while you're there, then you get citizenship within a year. And I don't know if you've seen the Argentinians, but that's not a terrible ask. So think about it. Think about it.
What if he goes for a man instead, though? We are, after all, an equal opportunity, citizenship seeker.
Well, that's fair, right? But I don't know if that gives you the fast pass to the citizenship. They've got a thing where if your kid is born in Argentina, the kid automatically gets citizenship in Argentina, even if you're not Argentinian. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
So it's
like I could go
citizenship
there.
like we have.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, my South American love life aside, how are we doing for markets today?
There's some financial information out if we want to talk about that. There's the wholesale prices. Wholesale prices, rose 0.7 in January, more than the 0.4 expected. So I think that's adding to the red. And there's jobless claims. I haven't got through everything yet, but a bunch of stuff just came out at 8:30, 11 o'clock. The consumer debt number comes out. I think both the jobless claim, which I haven't seen yet because I've been listening to your escape plans. I'm gonna go look for it though.
They are not called escape plans. They are called temporary plans, just like this whole
contingency.
contingency. Thank you. That is the most correct word right there.
How do you
So
think
the
Elliot ended up where he's at?
only question I have about said lawsuit is what is his basis on this lawsuit?
Daddy took my spoon away and I need it back. That's his basis.
Everyone's mean.
Look, at the end of the day,
can
you can
sue
find
for that? I never knew that. Huh.
Yeah, you can.
But yeah, you said something that I have to disagree with. We have grown as a sub, but we have definitely not matured. We are as immature as ever.
Well, speak for yourself, Latter Day. I feel like I got more mature here, quite frankly. With your help, I should add. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it at the end of the day. Also, we have AI. We have AutoMod. I don't know if you guys know that. Speaking of AI, if you haven't joined our Discord, please join our Discord. Check out the comment section. We do have a Discord. That's correct. You can gamble. You can go on our casino. There is a 500 million bar. I don't know why that was set, but it is. So that's the max amount you can make right now. I would also like to inform you that we have some great analysts on there. And we actually have a threshold that you cannot penny push in there. I was told that yesterday. So I do apologize in advance for that. Delayed and informed news, just like this lawsuit, but I digress.
So let's talk about Lucid. It pumps, but it's also running out of money. So they're going to burn through the rest of their money here in a couple months, which means they're going to have to do another capital raise, right? Right. So what do we think? I mean, how do we feel about this? Are you feeling bullish on their prospects to raise more money? Or?
Oh my God, Scald, I'm so happy that you brought up Lucid because I was going to bring up an article that was written about 3 days ago.
Here we go.
Manufacturing Dive. Here's the dive brief. Canoe, as well as Lucid Motors, have won contracts to develop battery modules for Defense Department. That's right. They got military contracts, motherfuckers. Lucid and Canoe got some military contracts. It's
How
on.
big is it?
It's ready for the pump. Let's fucking go.
How big is the contract?
Okay, Latter Day, I agree with you now. I agree with you 100%. I do apologize.
It's for the Luxembourg military.
Let's get degenerate again. Let's make Wall Street Bets degenerate again.
Wait, how big is the contract for Lucid?
I still got to dive into the brief. I will.
Okay.
He didn't read the whole article. Come on, man.
Come on. He's just like,
Man, it doesn't even say.
He just read the headline
right now, and it's not even giving me any numbers.
Matt, you're not helping me out here. I literally said we all matured, and yeah, come on.
All right, let's talk about Neo. Isn't
not me? Not me. I would never mature. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Is Apple preparing to buy Neo? Anybody know about that?
What? I haven't heard anything on that, but
I heard Apple was. Hold on, I gotta pull up. Let's see if there's an article. I heard Apple was buying Neo.
I mean,
maybe that was a rumor.
Headlines they probably saw, or maybe it was a meat sweat dream last night. I don't know. It's fine. Maybe it's happening. It's not you.
I also heard that there were hot single moms near me.
Oh, it says Apple is looking to buy Neo. Okay, it's not really just speculation. Never mind.
It's like those articles that come out every once in a while where it's like, could Disney buy Sony? And you look at it and like, no, they could not.
Yeah.
But like basically that article comes out every 8 or 9 months. And every time I see it, it's the same bullshit. Yeah.
But here's what I do know. Indian Air is buying 400 747 Boeings, their largest contract in history. Anybody got calls on Boeings?
Yeah, again, that came out on Monday, I think. So they did have a little jump. They have a defensive component too. We talked about the other day, so I think I don't own it personally, but I'm sure we all own it in some indirect way. So yeah, go Boeing, right?
How are we all feeling about Rheinmetall? Since I mentioned it here, it's up something like 60-something%. No signs of brakes on this train. Rheinmetall is belonging the German defense industry, which is back in play. Anybody else in Rheinmetall, or is it just me?
Any commodity. I know there's commodity plays out there. Rheinmetall or anything else.
I wouldn't quite call Rheinmetall a commodity play. That's Germany finally decided to send tanks to Ukraine, so they're gonna have to make new ones to play.
They're like the Lockheed Martin of Germany, man. I don't know where you're getting this commodity play from.
Oh, never mind.
Hey, Scald, separate question for you. When are you going to get into those pure cycle technology puts? I know you said wait until after their earnings, but I'm having trouble finding when that is.
I thought the earnings were tomorrow. Let me take a look. I'm driving right now. I'll get back to you later in the chat with an update on that.
Thanks.
Yeah, be safe. I know we got thunderstorms coming today. So.
Well, he drives through cornfields, so the nice thing is when thunder strikes, he just gets a bunch of popcorn. So it's actually a benefit for Scald.
I've missed this in all my years of driving. I'm highly disappointed I have not encountered this.
Well, the problem is if you do that in Ohio now, it comes with a bunch of chemicals. So you really got to think about if it's worth it.
Oh, it's good. They're gonna wash it all down. Yeah, we're both in Ohio. Yeah, it's fine. I'll just push them down today. It's good.
It's raining heavy today. I'm sure it's getting all those pollutants out of the air and directly into the water supply. We got 3,500 dead fish here. What up?
But did it kill the minks? That's what's really important.
FYI,
Probably.
that article was a complete fluff piece, but it did state that all three of them have contracts. It just didn't say exactly what the contracts were for other than testing. So they're going to be testing Lucid's EV drive as well as their battery technology. And they're going to be taking advantage of Canoe as well as GM as well. So I think they're going to make them compete for the contracts.
Well, wasn't there talk about making the new version of the Humvee electric?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of batshit crazy, to be honest. An electric Humvee, the size of that battery, you would need like the F1 batteries that Lucid uses to power that fucking thing, and you'd need like two of them.
But I will say there's a lot of torque in electric batteries, so that actually could serve that purpose.
Yeah, but you're talking about putting an electric battery. Generally, put them on the underside of the vehicle, where those vehicles are very prone to getting hit by IEDs. So I don't know if that would be a bonus or not so much.
Well, this is why you would put it in the trunk, or not the trunk, but where the engine would be, because that's the only sizable area where you would be able to have those batteries, and it's a huge target, unfortunately.
I just can't imagine if we were still in Afghanistan and they're trying to outrun the Taliban. Sorry, I forgot to plug in the Humvee last night.
Good God.
Oh, hold on. Let's get it in the sun. Let's roll it into the sun like Lucid did. It should work if we go downhill.
That was Nikola.
That was Nikola. Just push it downhill.
I can't keep track of these shitty EV companies. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
so many
responsible
frauds,
for the
so much
gravity,
losing
not the
money.
gravity that the Nikola was using.
Speaking of the Taliban, anybody want to talk about Ford and how they're losing $7 billion? And they're still trying to go to the EV market, even though their sales from their gas-powered vehicles.
And no one brought this up when they had their earnings call. Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, when they had their earnings call, their CEO said basically we left $2 billion on the table. We just managed part.
Yeah,
he's been there a few years, so yeah, it's not good there.
I don't like Ford. I really don't. I believe in its acronyms, found on the road dead. But let me say this: I do feel like it is their year to revive. I do feel like they have opportunity. They have some very smart engineers, and they've been in the field long enough that they can turn around. I really
I
believe
disagree.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
If you're talking about
so
2023, if you're
here's
talking
what
about 2023, I would disagree because their CEO is he just wants to go all EV. He says that's the future. EV, forget
Yeah,
about our
he's
gas
totally
powered
copying
vehicles.
Toyota right now. Come on.
they just
Right.
suspended.
but
They
also
suspended production
I just want
of Lightning because of electrical problems. They suspended the production and rollout and delivery of the F-150 Lightning, all of them, because they have issues with the battery. So it's gonna be a little tough going forward for them for the next few months.
Yeah, and they said they thought they found the problem in the mix of the battery. That's what it was, and may be able to get back up next Friday. But Scald, you were trying to say? I know it's hard to hear you when you're driving in the rain. Go ahead.
nothing important. Move on.
I was just gonna say, well, didn't the Cybertruck have issues too? I mean, that was Tesla, and we're still
What Cybertruck? Ha ha ha.
That
Yeah,
they,
that's
they,
true. That's very true.
they haven't delivered it yet.
Wasn't the Cybertruck the one where they wanted to show how like strong the glass was, and they wound up throwing a brick through it and it shattered?
Yeah.
The like best moment ever to display just
Twice,
how great your
not just
vehicle is.
one. Not just once. Twice.
But
Dude,
some
I
even
just
worse,
want to
one.
point out. I just want to point out that Chris Farley's cousin is the president of Ford. So Tommy Boy is basically a documentary movie now, and I wouldn't want to bet against, Tommy Boy. Come on,
you ask
Like,
a butcher.
it's going to the moon because we live in a simulation. Like that's what's
Scald.
happening.
Scald, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but 90% of the Zoomers in the chat are going, "What's a Chris Farley?"
Good God, I don't
that's
even
sad.
think about that.
You don't, even if you're like 20 years old, you should know who Chris Farley is. It's like the #1 SNL skit on YouTube.
Recommended reading, right?
Yeah, now they're asking what's an SNL.
Yeah, it was like before there were TikToks. You just have to watch all the little scenes. Before there was TikTok, you had to watch all the scenes in order on the television, and it was called SNL. So they were like a bunch of little TikToks that made you smile. That's what Saturday Night Live used to be.
I would tape that shit on VHS, and then I could still edit it back then.
Wow, you guys are old. Yeah, Saturday Night Live is
What's
on
a
YouTube.
VHS?
Yeah. It's on YouTube, so let's not make this sound like it's some old school thing. It's still on.
Well,
to this day.
it's all about the Walkman.
SNL.
No. Does anyone remember Betamax?
SNL was the market leader in news parody, and then CNN came along and stole away all their market share.
All right, guys. If we don't have any more plays, we got plays here. Let's talk some plays.
Betamax. Bullish.
Okay, I'm bringing up Tuesday Fly Big Ballin'. Or whatever
He's not
his
even in
name
the
is.
hands. Don't try that.
He always has plays,
Yep, he does. Let's go. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. It's your big boy, Tuesday Big Fly Big Ball. He likes to pump and dump, and he likes to bring it in fresh from his scanner. Let's go.
No pump and dump. Let's not identify Tuesday Fly with pump and dump. Let's identify me with big energy, and I'm just trying to get paid. I have no financial advice. I want you to trade how you normally would trade, and I'll give you some stocks. It's not all about penny flippers. It's just what's there for me right now. I'm liking whatever's in the.
Let me start over. Ladies and gentlemen, Tuesday Fly Big Baller Shot Caller is here to give you some plays from his scanner. And he's actually trading options now. Finally, he's came to the other side. It's about freaking time.
There we go. I like that. Here we go. Grand Rising, everybody. Welcome, Wall Street Bets. So what I was going to say is I like the crypto sector because Bitcoin is moving right now. So like Mara, Coin, I know some of them are down today, but I keep an eye on them. I think Bitcoin will cross over, maybe even hit 30. But my plays, I like GNS right now. If you look at their monthly chart, I mentioned it about a month out. It went from 50 cents. It's up to $6. They're doing a public offering, so that's a little bit of DD on that. And I got one more, and I'll post them in the chat. I got to get my kids ready. I'd take an eye on AM today. And I do have one options play. Like you said, I am coming over to the other side. I appreciate all the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and patience with my dumb ass. But let me give you my last play as far as options for you guys. And I'll be out the way for a bit. 1 minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not organized, I would suggest start being organized, because if you come on the mic a couple times and you still are trying to figure out how to get things together, I digress from that point and say,
I beg your pardon. I have 2 young children, and I get my kids ready in the morning. So I beg your pardon, my friends. Please pardon me. You can move on. And once I find this damn call option I bought yesterday, I'll tap back in. Thank you.
I'll talk about GNS. GNS has hired Wes Christensen to tackle their short problem. They seem to be over shorted and having their stock manipulated. And they've decided that the best way to confront that is going out to media outlets and crying like a bitch about it.
That does seem to pump your price sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's working.
I think they need to get a woman for that. That's more effective.
So I've got a play. I actually listened to the QS earnings call last night, which was a first for me. A couple of their answers were horse hockey, but I kind of liked what I heard. Everybody knows solid state hard drives are better than regular hard drives. So just calling these batteries solid state batteries, people are going to think, oh, that's got to be better, even if it's not true. But I got some calls yesterday at $11 strike. Should have sold them at the end of the market for a hefty profit, but did not, because, I'm on WallStreetBets and I was going for the big win.
All right, I got my notes up, fellas. Apologies. It's going to be, I got in yesterday. It's CNHI. The expiration was 6/16. The strike price was 17.50. I got some at 60 cents and I got some at 65 cents. And yeah, that's it for me for now. I'll check the scanner, check back with you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I got a little bit of news here. Warren Buffett has sold off 86% of his holdings in TSMC.
Yeah, we touched on that briefly yesterday, part of his quarterly filings. The market does move on them, but so many of those times, you're already 6-8 weeks out from the most up-to-date information too. So it's really looking backwards.
The thing about this is that Warren Buffett usually holds things for years. It's what he's well known for. So the fact that he flipped TSM is pretty wild. You don't normally do that with $1 billion.
Managers, they do this. Unfortunately, if you look at their trading in the last, call it 3 to 5 years, the more new managers they're allowing to make decisions. Unfortunately, they've had these quick in and outs. So, yes, it is telling that he's like anti-China, if you will, or at least thinks that there is a risk ahead. Right? I always find a problem with those filings, if you will. They're old news.
So was when Cohen dumped his Bed Bath & Beyond shares, and it still tanked after everyone finally found out about that.
On the eve of this whole AI breakthrough, I just find it very odd.
Yeah, I find it odd as well.
He also dumped Activision yesterday too. I found that more surprising than anything, because that seemed like a sure thing.
Guess he thinks the merger's not going to go, or the acquisition.
Yeah, I think it's mostly because of the merger.
Exactly. So probably a strong indicator it's not going to happen now.
That's
Warren is
last time Microsoft went in front of antitrust court, after months, the ruling was that they had to allow Internet Explorer to be available on other systems. If that's not the lightest slap on the wrist I've ever seen on Earth, I don't know what it is. So, I just don't see, historically, I would see them winning this case based on the fact that in the past, they've received basically no censure from the U.S. government for their monopolistic activities, right?
Well, into this case, more specifically, there was some legal news out, or at least an opinion piece from a Legal Eagle this weekend that said the Brits really don't have a case on this one, and more likely the deal is going to go through. So, but there was really, when that was released on Monday, it was very small action, and it's still in the 70s. It has not gone up to the acquisition price of 95. So the market seems to be pricing in. People still don't think it's going to happen, or they would have been buying hand over fist.
Well, no, I think that indicates it's not. So the U.S. is looking into them as well as the Brits, and the fact that the Brits is no news, it actually is no news because the stock didn't move. I think the market's waiting for to get some direction from the U.S. Suit, or what the U.S. is looking into in terms of the antitrust stuff. I mean, I agree that the British stuff doesn't really matter. It's what the U.S. does that's going to matter. That's why the market didn't move. That's why the price didn't move.
I think the British stuff still matters. Losing access to the UK economy is relevant for Microsoft. They can't just write that off.
And speaking
Russia,
of writing off, BlackRock
if
is
Russia,
written off $1.5 trillion. You guys see that?
Say that again.
If Russia,
BlackRock is like written off $1.5 trillion recently of losses. Rumor is, or what I'm trying to put together is, if they're going to dump the houses that they have bought in the last few years.
Why would they?
Because they are anticipating that they're not going to be able to move them.
Yeah, but if they go ahead and dump all their houses, they get to trigger a housing market crash, which makes it harder for them to dump their houses.
Yeah, this is
do
something
they
that I've been...
need to move them? I mean, I don't understand the motive. That's what I'm getting at. Like, why wouldn't they just sit on it at face value, use that as, collateral?
Yep,
versus selling it and risking the price.
Yeah, this is what I've been thinking too. I'm just saying what some speculative stuff is. But like, yeah, that's totally true. I've been saying that they can afford to just sit on these things and wait. They want a world of renters, and with these high interest. Anyways, I'm getting off the subject, but basically, yeah, I agree with you guys.
But on the Microsoft UK thing, if Russia was no big deal to pull out of for Microsoft, UK is going to be a non-issue. Just saying.
No, I think they have more business there. It was seen as stymieing the deal just because of that one set of regulators. So,
but the gaming part is only a small part of their business, is what I'm saying. It's like big deal if UK doesn't want to use Activision, or doesn't want Activision, or doesn't want to allow them to sell the game in the UK. Their entire business unit, the entire Microsoft business, pulled out of Russia, and it was inconsequential. I mean, come on, UK is not that big. It just doesn't matter anymore.
But here's the difference. Companies pulled out of Russia because they felt that due to the Ukraine war, they would suffer greater consequences in public image than they would fiscally. Compare that to the UK, where the question now becomes, is it worth gaining Blizzard Activision to lose an entire market? That answer might not be yes, right?
Well, the UK is not going to stop them from selling Microsoft products in the UK. They're just not going to let them do the gaming part. I mean, the UK depends more on Microsoft than Microsoft depends on the UK. Let's be honest.
I mean, technically, if they say in their eyes that the acquisition shouldn't be allowed, they can flat out say, like, Microsoft isn't in compliance with our laws. They cannot sell product here. I'm not saying that they will, but that's just the type of stuff
I don't.
Microsoft
That
has to
is
consider.
Like I said, the UK is more dependent on Microsoft than Microsoft is on the UK. Trust me. It's like UK is a joke these days.
Trust them, guys.
No, I mean, Human Genome, you're not entirely wrong. I just think the notion that like Microsoft can just kind of go the UK doesn't matter, we can ignore them, we'll do what we want, is probably a little oversimplification.
No, I agree. They're not going to do that. But what I'm saying is that the more important part of this is what the U.S. does, not what the UK does, with regard to the acquisition. And if the U.S. allows the acquisition, the UK is eventually going to fall in line, no matter how much kicking and screaming they do. So the bigger decision is what the U.S. does, not what the UK does.
I agree. The U.S. is definitely the bigger decision.
Well, you Americans sound so confident, but I think you're right, though. I don't think Microsoft is going to really be impacted in a negative way. I wanted to ask you guys about the QuantumScape and also about BYD, the EV company in China, and Berkshire Hathaway's pullout of that. Warren Buffett's pullout from that company, from the stake that they had in that company.
Okay, call me.
Yeah. So what's your question?
Back on with it.
Yeah, like, do you have any thoughts on it? Because there's a news article that just came out now that says Berkshire Hathaway's Charlie Munger says BYD is so far ahead of Tesla, it's almost ridiculous. So I'm kind of conflicted. Like, why would they pull out if they're so confident that BYD is so huge? I know BYD is like, they're in South America, they're in Europe and Asia. I'm not sure if they're in America yet. But what are your thoughts on it?
I think competition is growing for both America and China with all the subsidies they're doing. Didn't China just recently partner up with Ford to make batteries? So I think BYD, there's not a lot of, from what Charlie says, there's not a lot of competition with BYD, and as far as their future outlook. So I think he's more bullish on different EV companies other than BYD.
Okay.
And I think, and what you're referring to is the quarterly filings. We talked a little bit about these with, I think the geopolitical risk in Asia is too high right now. So I think that's why you're seeing them generally step away from that market, even if they still see it as a good competition.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think that's, if you read between the lines, it's more of a, and Warren and his general little army of investors have always kept it mostly American-based anyway.
American, yeah. One last thing, Atlas Motor Vehicles. I know you guys shot me down the other day on the whole Nikola stuff and stuff, but what do you think of Atlas? It's actually down 42% in pre-market.
By the way, going back to BYD, somebody in the chat said they didn't pull out of BYD. They just lowered their stake from 12.5 to 11.5. That's what you're saying.
So see, that's just a slight. That's portfolio.
Oh, that's slight. Yeah.
So yeah, that may not even be a. Yeah.
I think maybe the headline was misleading. Atlas Motors is down 42%. Does anybody have any idea on Atlas Motors? Is that a solid company, or how do you feel about that one?
First time I've heard about them. Anybody know?
Ticker is AMV, Atlas Motor Vehicles.
So I would say by the silence, no one really knows them or has a strong opinion. I would just say if it's down 42%, without knowing why or anything about it, you definitely need to do some more DD. I don't know if anyone.
In other words, who?
Yeah.
Who are they?
Yep.
Shit. Look at this stock.
There's no news on it.
They were worth $10 on January 10th, and they just fucking dipped down.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody mentioned Roku. Anybody wanted to talk about Roku? I think they had good earnings. They beat their earnings.
Yeah, it was a bunch of them. Roku, Shopify, and a few others that were making moves.
Roku is irrelevant, man. Roku as a streaming platform, I'm not very bullish on them at all.
It's like, do you have the internet? All right, I got this. Let me tell you.
Before we move on real quick though, Charlie Munger saying that BYD is more advanced than Tesla is a very interesting statement, because I find that Chinese information should be taken with a very big grain of salt. Although Munger does seem to be educated on things and very very well educated or whatever. But how, in what way are they leaps and bounds ahead of Tesla?
Actually, Elon Musk agrees with him. During Tesla's earnings calls, one of the analysts asked him where he sees the competition coming from in the next 5 years. Elon Musk flat out said he sees the competition coming from China, not the legacy U.S. auto manufacturers. So at least on that, Munger and Musk are in agreement.
Yeah. BYD is also a battery company, so they make their own batteries as well. So I think they get a real head start in the game, and they've penetrated South America and other parts of the world. So they also have a focus on third world countries, which Tesla isn't focusing on.
So do you know how far along they are on their battery technology? Because that is what I'd be interested in.
BYD was making batteries long before they started doing EVs. That's one of the ways they started out. They were doing batteries for like all these phone companies in China. So they've been around for a long time. CAT-L, if you're familiar with that one, is the other main battery supplier in China. And they've moved a lot in the last 5 years. They also supply companies like NIO and some of the other auto, I think Li Auto and Xpeng get their batteries from them.
I think one of the other things people may not know is that one of the parts of the Inflation Reduction Act that just passed also prevents the $7,500 tax credit from being used on EVs manufactured outside of the United States. So basically having a $7,500 markup, even if those cars were to come in, unless that gets changed, that's going to be a big hurdle.
I mean, if they're made in China, there should be a huge cost reduction there. So unless they put a bunch of tariffs on them, they'll probably be comparable or even still cheaper than American-made EVs.
Also remember, those are tax credits. In order to get quote-unquote $7,500 in value, you need to owe $7,500 worth of taxes. So for many people, it's going to ultimately be irrelevant.
Can I tap in real quick?
Nobody's buying a 100K car.
Hey, listen, I'll teach you a little secret, right? If you can open an LLC for pretty dirt cheap, and it could just be something you like to do. Say you like to wash cars on the side, right? Get an LLC. Once you have an LLC, all your expenses for your business are basically losses. So then you can go buy that car and you can write that whole car off. Just a thought. And LLCs aren't too expensive. You can legal Zoom. And just make your hobby your business, and then you can write all that shit off. And trust me, I've been doing it for like 20 years. It works.
The average
that's not tax advice, by the way, folks.
No tax advice. No. I have a good tax guy. But no, on the side note, I do have a great tax accountant. He has some spots available, but has nothing to do with me, no money to me or anything like that. No tax advice. But if you start a business, you can write off a lot of things and you can get that credit. I actually got it this year. It was $8,500 for an electric vehicle that weighs over 6,000 pounds. And I barely got it.
You heard it here first, folks.
You heard it here first. Not only can we offer some scanner plays, we're going to offer you some advice about EV credits. Obviously, we know that EV credits have been renewed this year. That's a great thing. Thank you to the American government for passing that. We do appreciate that. I would say that it's going to be a very interesting year for EV credits going into 2023 and 2024. But please contact your CPA tax accountant or look online. A lot of free information out there, so you don't have to pay anybody's referred tax accountant. But I digress.
And I will say this, the company who makes your vehicle, cannot make over 200,000 vehicles of electric, or you don't get that credit. So go on irs.gov and you'll find the manufacturers that are under that 200,000 foot threshold.
So
And
I
if
have a
you're
question
looking,
on.
well, I was just going to quickly say, if you're looking for a business idea to start your LLC, Reddit mod is always very profitable and very legitimate business. Feel free to private message Opinion to look into how to start that particular business up.
Let's go.
Come on,
Let's
boss
go.
leader opinion. Come on, how bad is it?
Sorry, I missed it. What business?
Full-time Reddit mod, a very important position.
I would say it's great. You make so much money. You work for your sponsors like Disneyland or others, and yeah, they just send you on cool trips. You get to eat a lot of like free shrimp and sushi and stuff, and it's great. Party
You
every
get to
day.
take a photo in Disneyland with a bunch of hedge funds.
They send you to Brazil.
How many shares are you getting pre Reddit IPO for free?
Actually,
That's true. That's true.
Or you can go ask ChatGPT what a great LLC business you can start. He's got some great ideas. Or she, I can't tell what it is yet.
Actually, one thing I am surprised about with the Reddit IPO is that Steve Huffman, the CEO and co-founder, actually doesn't seem to be worth particularly all that much. I hope he doesn't find this and get mad at me for saying this, but like, I feel like he doesn't have that much equity in the company. I could be completely wrong, but I've never seen him anything say that he's worth like $1 billion or even like 100 million. And he the Reddit is valued at 10 or 15 billion. So very
Please
odd.
don't say he's another Sam Bankman-Fried where he's a normal billionaire, just like us.
Maybe he's running it through as an LLC.
Yeah, writing off everything.
What Opinion is trying to say is...
Opinion, I would disagree with you because he is married to, Serena Williams. So he's got that free pass within some respects.
Oh.
Whoa, no way. Seriously?
His wife's worth more than him.
What Opinion is trying to say is when he hangs out with him, they only go to Chick-fil-A and he makes Opinion pay for his own sandwich. So that's all he's observing.
I will neither confirm nor deny. But to get this back onto plays, how are other social media companies doing? Or
they're doing good.
I was going to talk about CF fertilizer. Speaking of social media, CF reported earnings yesterday. They beat earnings $4.35. Expected was $4.30. They my calls turned to dust just after market, but then it bounced back up over 1.35% above yesterday's or the day before's close. So hopefully I'll be able to break out even. I think I was a little bit degenerate with the calls, but I did advise people to buy shares. So hopefully somebody made some money out there.
Who here was happy when they saw pre-market late last night pumping, and now they're not feeling so good?
You mean the aftermarket?
Yeah, aftermarket yesterday night.
Just you, it seems.
Just me. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, unless you actually like executed trade and pre or after.
I just outed myself.
It's just pretend time, right? Nothing happened. If you don't actually execute.
Anybody excited for Cocaine Bear coming out?
Hell
and
yeah.
they're gonna watch it?
Is it coming to the movie theaters?
I heard it was next week.
Let's go AMC. Toot, toot.
Ape to the moon. Ape to the moon.
Let's
Best
go.
investment
Shit.
out there. This is financial advice. Go for it.
I mean, you got Tuesday flights just hoping the AMC doubles up so it can only be down $10,000.
No, 20. I'm at 40 still. Fuck it, though.
Listen, when AMC is at $500 a share, y'all are going to be apologizing to my man. So he's taking
I'm trying to get out at 10.
I won't be apologizing to him. I will be congratulating him. That's what
There
I
we go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go, Wall Street Bets.
So the
What
other
about
thing,
when?
other thing
What
is I
about?
want to take, I want to roll my gains out of CF and put them into Silvergate puts. Citadel, the big hedge fund, has disclosed that since December 31st, they've been long on the stock. They must have broken even at some point yesterday when it ran up 26%. I think we got another like Carvana, Susquehanna, BBBY situation where they're just in this death spiral. So I'll probably go into shorts here and just ride it out and let the Buckingham boosting until it eventually drops significantly back.
Are
At
these
least
long-term puts or
I'll
what's
probably
the
just short it.
expiration?
I'll probably just short it. I'll probably short it.
Oh, good old traditional share short.
Yeah.
Have
Unless
you seen what the
Citadel
rate
has.
is with 77% short? Have you found out what the rate is yet?
Nope, haven't even looked at it. All I know is
Do not burst this bubble.
All I know is that I think Citadel broke even, and they probably used that 5.5% stake to do some corporate digging. And I'm hoping they didn't like what they saw. So, because everybody knows Silvergate was exposed to the whole FTX collapse. I'm hoping that they saw that this is just a house of cards and they want to pull out and they wanted to break even. They did it, and now they can exit.
Not sure if you guys mentioned this, but is anyone following Twilio?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that company died. But go ahead.
They had 17% layoffs not too recently this week, actually.
Oh, so it's going to die. Gotcha.
No, it pumped on that news and on those layoffs.
All right, I forgot. It's all bullish.
2023 is the year of efficiencies. So if you show that you're going to fatten up your margins and cut heads, your stock price goes up.
I always thought Twilio was such a huge company in the messaging space, the business messaging space.
They are large in that they are available for anyone to do business messaging. But in terms of institutional scale, there are even larger companies who have really high minimums.
Morning, Hardy.
Morning, everyone.
Hey, I forgot to ask you the other day, but how did those 20 Delta SPY puts go for you?
They went straight to zero. Price didn't crash like I hoped it would. So I guess ICANN was just hedging his portfolio against a bad CPI print.
Hey, it looks like I've been invited to speak, and I know a little bit about Atlas Motor Vehicles.
Oh, let's hear it.
Okay.
Do share.
All right. So back, I don't know, 6 or 8 or a month or I don't know, a couple months ago, Alice invited me to get into to buy some shares prior to them going public. So I did a lot of research on them. They had some kind of funky financial thing going on where they were selling shares for to finance their IPO or something. I didn't buy in. I kind of wish I had. I could have gotten in pretty cheap. But Atlas Motor Vehicles produces an electric motor platform that you can hang any cab on, be it a service truck, be it a I'm not sure you can put a sedan on it, but you can put a pickup on it. You can put whatever body you need on it. And they have some battery technology that at the time they were touting it as about 70% more efficient than the Tesla batteries and quicker to recharge. It's more dense. As I think it is probably a little old information, but Tesla, if you tear open a Tesla battery pack, you find a bunch of 18650s or 2800s or whatever the current battery is. Atlas is actually producing their own cells, and they can get a much faster charge because they're producing them in-house, and they're producing them from the perspective of heat dissipation and all of the bad things that happen when you charge these batteries too fast. So Atlas is pretty interesting. I'm not real sure why they're underperforming, especially today. I followed them a little bit. I think I got in and out last week on a pump and dump, but it's something to watch long term. I feel like they have a really good concept as far as building just a platform that you can put anybody on, and they're going after the commercial markets, and we of course are seeing growth in EVs in the commercial markets. So that's what I have.
So how long ago did they IPO?
I want to say it was somewhere around October.
So most likely.
And what's the ticker?
AMV.
September.
Modular frames for electric vehicles. That was something that Canoe was doing, and I believe XPEV also does it with buses.
Yeah, the IPO in September.
Out of anything, I
IPO
was
in
really
September.
impressed with how
When
well
did
they
it start sliding down?
I couldn't tell you. I got out. As I say, I got out, took my profits and got out. And I think 2 weeks ago, I think it was mentioned in here maybe, and I did a little pump and dump for a day. It's a little more volatile than I want to play in my portfolio right now, but looking at the price right now, I'm considering getting back in.
Yeah, I think
who knows? I don't know. With the electric vehicles the way they are, they've got a good concept. They're definitely doing something, that's different than everybody else, which is usually good. But so is Mullen, and Mullen's crashed. So I don't know. Don't take my advice.
Well, how many people share your view on Atlas? Because at the end of the day, the price moves because those who wield the capital are deploying it to fit their thesis. So a rich guy who's bearish will beat 100 poor guys who are bullish.
Well, I got in probably around $4. I was doing a long term on this, and then it dropped a bit, and I think I bought a bit more. But now that it's so low, I think I'll try and bring my price down now that it's cheaper. Gonna hold it long term.
I think they're pretty solid. Their marketing company that was trying to sell me shares prior to IPO, they were all over me. And they had produced a lot of good, videos and introductions. And if you're part of the club, you actually get updates every day or two right from the factory as to what their progress is. And they even highlight some of their failures. When they came out with the new batteries, they needed to do some tweaking, and they're pretty transparent that way. So I don't know if they had some different update maybe that happened with a failure. I'm not really part of that club anymore, but I'm going to get back into it.
As long as they're not pushing their vehicles down a hill, that's good enough for me.
The gravity engine must really suck.
Warehouse.
The gravity engine must really suck if you have to push the car down the hill. Just saying.
No, I want to see him push it up the hill. That will impress me.
I'd buy
Well, if you have regenerative braking and you hit a hill and you're running out of power, you can just ride your brakes all the way down that hill and get enough juice to get to Wendy's.
That regenerative braking, I thought Toyota was the one that had the only patent rights to be able to produce that.
Yes, and the patents for which expired in like 2016, and then everyone else got it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Tesla has it.
So as everyone
Any
knows,
EV or hybrid has regenerative braking.
what's happening at market open?
4 minutes. So what are we going to do about Atlas? Is there an opportunity?
Well, looking at the stock, I'm not sure it's a buy yet. Maybe when it goes under 50 cents.
Might happen today. It might happen today.
How long term are you on this Atlas play?
It
seems like a share play to me. Like you just buy shares and hold.
Yeah, that's what it seems like to me.
Okay.
I mentioned the jobless claims earlier. They were like at 195. They were under 200,000. So that's the 5th week in a row. So job market's still hot. So that means the Fed's going to have to stay longer. I see red on the screen. So that's what I think is going to happen today. And I think those are the drivers.
Yes, I agree.
You have to remember that it's not the jobs number, it's the unemployment claims. It's the number of people who newly filed for unemployment. With the announcement of all these layoffs, usually comes some amount of severance. So it makes sense that the unemployment claims number is lower than expected. What's unclear is how long until those severances run out.
Wasn't there something like 10x new jobs above what was expected? Which is the opposite of what the Fed has claimed that they want.
Well, there's no problem with a lot of jobs, but remember, a lot of the people who are laid off are H-1B and therefore ineligible for unemployment. So if they're not able to get a new job on terms that they appreciate, they have to leave the country, go back to their home countries.
And that's a problem. That's another problem with our employment is we've talked about the participation rate. Both our population has shrank in the last 5 years and immigration has. So that's made it harder too for some of those jobs, just some going trends.
DocuSign just announced that they're cutting 10% of the workforce.
Hey Hardy, so that DBI options play that I asked you about, I fuck around and got soggy hands and sold yesterday, and it looks like it might hit the damn $11. I only lost like $300, but yeah, I took an L yesterday on that.
Soggy, you mean
trading.
paper?
40 seconds.
I mean, opposed to diamond hands, soggy hands, you know? I acted like a sucker and sold. I got scared.
I think that's called paper hands, by the way.
Roblox is still getting upgrades from analysts, and
paper
they showed
mache hands.
Not if you're crying at the same time, your hands become soggy paper.
Exactly. Paper mache hands, I'm telling you.
Did we talk about Roblox earlier?
Why don't you refresh our memory?
Please do.
No, I don't know if you guys spoke about it. I got in kind of late, so I didn't want to talk about it
Today,
again.
no.
Okay, so they went up 26% yesterday. They just got more upgrades by analysts, so might be something to look at.
Do you know why?
Market's open. Good luck, boys and girls.
Good luck.
Just opening the article. I'm going to read it. 1 second.
It's up because they had earnings and their daily active users were way, way, way up. So I'll save you the time and everyone else. Sorry. They still don't make money. So
Yeah, I gotta say Roblox, for a company that, I mean, just caters to what? It's a children's game, right? And it's popular.
It is.
They just keep outperforming with these numbers, man. It just doesn't go down, is what I'm trying to say. It's amazing.
Hey guys, I just want to give an update on a volatility play I've been shouting out recently. On Tyson cash secured puts, I was doing the 62.50s for a little bit, but they were in the money, so I got out of them at like a 5% gain, nothing crazy. I went back to the $60 last week on I think it was like the 9th. I sold them to open for 90, and then yesterday I bought them to close for like $15. So that was pretty good luck.
QuantumScape sounds almost 16%.
JP Morgan Chase just came through with a JPM, has a buy signal at a 142.94. Do your own DD, set your own stop loss.
Wait, for what ticker?
JPM, JP Morgan Chase, JPM.
No, you said they had a buy signal?
Yeah, so my scanner just ran across that buy signal at 9:31, and it was saying,
okay.
yeah, just passing on some info.
Looks like Roku is taking off.
Does anyone else think it's going to pump a bit and then go down for the rest of the day?
What, Roku?
No, Spy.
Oh.
I mean, it was the hottest wholesale inflation number since June, and the markets don't seem to like that idea either. So both Jobless claims, regardless of severance or not, are staying hot, and then a very, very hot print there. I think it's going to stay down.
Yeah, that's kind of the feeling I get, but I feel like we might see a couple green ones here first before that.
True. I would say the markets have been a little more mixed. I would never say balanced. It's still irrational right now, but there has been. It does seem like a stock pickers market. What are you seeing, Hardy? Are you seeing anything that jumps out to you? I know you probably already posted your plays, but
the plays are up. For me, it's the bulk of my trades this month are more theta gang, because volatility is high. Everyone is expecting the drop, and the drop's not coming. It's kind of weird, but I'm happy to
the
stack while I
sideways
can.
market, if you will.
It's sort of like if you had two guys pushing on opposite corners of the table. Table spins. So at the extremes of the table, you have a lot of volatility. Toward the center, it's relatively stable, even though there's a lot of volatility is expected. So it's that center part that I'm focusing on right now to harvest premium.
There's more like boomer stocks. I hate to put it that way, but more cyclical stocks there and more level. Are you playing off that more?
Well, as a quick example, I've been selling cash secured puts on SQQQ. So that's been a healthy amount of premium for me. Same for Yang and anything China, basically. GameStop is a popular one. I've added a lot more shares now, so my effective cost basis is $1. And now I'm harvesting enough premium that I'm growing my shares at like 3% a week. So for me, it's effectively risk-free, even if Moasis doesn't happen. I would say right now I'm on a dollar basis. Let's call it 70% short options, 30% long.
Thank you for sharing. Always appreciate that.
Before I leave, I just want to say, fuck Shopify. Piece of shit company.
What happened, man?
Yeah, what happened to you? I like Shopify.
Probably bot calls.
Yeah, how many calls did you buy, man?
His entire net worth.
You lash out the most at those that you love the most, you know?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Who hurt you?
This is great. Oh man, look at that
The
dump on Shopify.
the ones who love us always hurt us. The
Yeah,
ones we love always hurt us.
Shopify being one of them. Look at that. Dang. Shopify dropped, man. Feel sorry for you.
I bought shares. I'm not gonna lie. I bought shares, and I'm probably gonna sell some cash secured puts. They actually, I mean, for longer term, I know for options, if the options expire, you're not gonna be happy with it. But I think longer term, they're creating more, or they're getting more subscribers, so to speak, which are the merchants, and they're actually vital for the reduction in inflation and the continuance of the economy, because these people that are doing these merchants that are selling these items, you know, they're sort of the little mom and pop type places that are helping to increase productivity in the marketplace and provide goods for the marketplace. And that kind of competition, I think, in the long run is going to help to lower product costs and help bring inflation down. So I mean, we'll see what happens. Mine is more of a long-term play, not so much options. So I'm looking at getting more shares.
We got a share boy here. You know, yesterday there was a talk regarding zero DTEs and how that's hurting both the indexes and the SPY, and how it's causing a lot of volatility on the short-term side. daily volatility for these zero DTs now that they're doing daily expiration on these. Anybody got thoughts on the whole zero DTE every day?
I think that assertion is bullshit.
Agreed. More volatility, more profits for traders.
That is true. There's more potential profit for with more volatility.
Yeah, when I buy an option on a long side, I want the stock to go haywire right after I buy it.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, like,
That's how I feel about shares.
what's wrong with volatility?
So whoever's looking at buying Shopify, today might be your day.
Those calls are cheap. Very cheap.
Anyone
I'm not
look
at my
at the
computer.
cipher calls for $2?
$2. These calls are cheaper than $2.
Hasbro
Alright,
reported,
we might
and
not
it's
be
over.
looking at this.
Oh, I was gonna say Hasbro reported, and it's over 60. I know we've talked about that here, so I don't have a position, but
They got those loot boxes out for Dungeons and Dragons.
It's climbing as the minutes go on. I don't know. We've talked about. I don't know if they have little boxes yet, but
Ooh, that has. Yeah, nobody has calls in Hasbro? I know it was a big talk like a week or two ago.
It was a big talk, like I think about a month or two ago, around Christmas time, that it was like, oh, these guys are cool. Because one of the boxes for a game where it made up.
You sound a little bit spotty there, Latter Day. I think it's your signal.
It's very possible that it is my signal. Weather's not too good down here in Tennessee.
You sound good now.
Is anybody else here got a play on DraftKings?
Oh, one thing I wanted to mention about DraftKings yesterday when we were talking about it was their Super Bowl commercial on it. It had like 72 font Gamblers Anonymous hotline.
Yeah, I've been messing with this stock since like May of last year, just kind of buying it when it dips and selling it when it's up. And I'm actually not trading it today for like post earnings report. I just got in this morning and I'm going to get out before the end of the day because I'm actually not convinced their earnings this time are going to be good. I think people are assuming it's going to be good because the Super Bowl just happened, but they forgot that it was last quarter, which involved like that whole bloodbath in the market. So I think that I can score a little bit today, pull all my cash out, and then maybe they'll have a little bit of a rout in the coming weeks and we can get back in.
Looks like Two Flies ticker AM went up 92% already this morning and just halted.
Well, to be fair, he pre-screened it as in the highest net gains. Pre-market.
My CF is going up pretty good. Hope I don't jinx it.
Well, now you just jinxed it.
Yeah, I think the market might be tanking now, man.
If pumping pennies works for Tuesday, then I am going to try and pump a $17 billion market cap company.
Does anyone else feel like they have a magic buy button where as soon as they click buy on a stock, it just fucking nosedives?
I do. I definitely have one of those.
I think we've all been there, man.
The problem is that you're paying market price. Never do that. That's also why a lot of my plays are below the ask because the expectation is the market will drift down slowly to that. I hate to use the term extreme, but to that level, and then bounce back or bungee back to the mean.
I'm just too impatient for that. I'll be edging up all the time to try and meet that market level, even when it's coming down.
Yeah, that's market makers teasing you.
Yeah, I think they can see my screen.
They do, especially if you have a live order in the level 2 screen.
Oh shit, now you tell me. That's what's happening to me. So yeah, I have one of those magic buy buttons.
You're doxing yourself. Dang it. Come on.
You should ask the guy that has Shopify calls if he has that button.
Yeah, the stock will be going up and I start chasing it upwards. I have a low price, but then I start chasing that. And then as soon as I get a sale on it, as soon as I get in, sorry, then it starts to drop.
Yes. Stop chasing the dragon.
You gotta tell us your next play, by the way.
Yeah, so you can make it drop faster.
No, just take the
So we can do the
odds.
opposite, and we can make money. We have to have one sacrificial lamb, and let it be you today.
Oh wow. Okay, so I'm thinking about BBBY. It just somehow is calling my name.
Calls or puts?
Calls.
Alright, that thing's drilling today.
Calls.
Buy
You know what? You
shares and
guys are
sell
gonna
covered calls.
Yeah, you guys are gonna be kicking yourself when BBBY makes it to $50.
50?
Let's go.
I don't think so.
I'd be kicking myself if it went up to 15.
What
Yeah,
is that in pounds?
I'll be kicking myself really hard because that means inflation will be like
He
I'll be
said 50.
unable to afford anything.
Hey, we can make it happen, man. Anything can
Yeah,
happen.
man. The sell limit on me kicking myself is a lot lower than 50.
He said 50.
50 cents. He meant 50 cents.
This guy said 50.
It's wishful
Boom!
thinking.
Just made it, and I just made a profit on CF. Awesome, fantastic.
Congratulations.
That was a shitty DD. I wanted to tell you that with the utmost respect.
You couldn't hear it, but I was sweating bullets and shitting bricks. This when it dropped down to like 83. Now it's all the way back at 87.
I've turned my back to the computer. I'll check in on it later.
I like this guy.
Where's Tesla going today?
Yeah,
Could go
as
up.
always. As
They're
always,
having
Tesla's just
their shareholder event on March 1st.
Well,
And the topic is a bright future, so could be some interesting announcements.
Yeah,
It says they're
could
going
go down.
to energize the world, is the quote on the investor day. So battery
Yep.
time.
Yeah, why is
I think it's
everybody
more than just batteries.
Yeah, why is everybody building all these battery banks everywhere? Is there something going on that I don't know about?
That's the future.
But what's wrong with the energy just coming straight from the power station? What's with all the batteries?
Ask all the Texans. Decentralization.
So without like going into super high tech energy grid, blah blah blah, the answer is if things are going to go green energy route and electrification of the world, you need high capacity storage for periods of low energy production. You know, sometimes it's cloudy and solar's not doing that great. Sometimes it's not that windy. If you're running off coal, you can just tell the coal power plant to burn more. With green energy, not so much. So the solution is have high capacity storage so that when there's not enough production, you have something you can pull from to meet demand.
Sounds good.
It could just be subsidies that are funding these companies.
So keep in mind, in current generation grids, you have what are called peaker plants, which are basically power plants you can very quickly turn on and off, relatively speaking. And frankly, they're very inefficient. The idea behind the battery banks is that you can replace peaker plants with them, especially as battery cell technology becomes cheaper and more accessible.
So they generate energy when it's cheap to do so, store it.
They buy electricity when it's cheap and sell it when it's not cheap.
Right.
But this only really works in markets like Texas, which are theoretically, what's the term? Market driven. The problem with utilities is they have monopoly. So how do you get more market participants in a place that has a monopoly? It's kind of weird how that works.
Gosh, there's so many ways to make money and rob people.
And y'all are broke anyway.
Don't even have 1 mil.
Not far off.
Hey, speaking of the way things are weird, how they work, I started buying AMV yesterday, and every order I put through, I could see real time it was green, as in buy side, right? Today, any order I'm putting through, it's all neutral. I don't understand.
It's the
You're
gravity.
talking about the tighter spreads or what?
No, just my order when it goes through, it's green. I'm using Webull, right?
This is the color of
Today they're all white.
humanity,
It's
or-
neutral.
Is
No, like
being
neutral-
green is being green on a position weird?
like the buy side. Instead of it being white or gray, whatever, being a neutral order, yesterday any order was all green. Today they're all neutral. Whatever, I don't know.
Tillery, thoughts?
Yeah, they're never gonna pass legislation, so I think it's just gonna.
Tilray? Tilray's a good
GLR.
wheeling stock. I wheel Tilray, sell covered calls. It's doing pretty well.
Do you have any thoughts on Tilray?
I don't know. Back in the meme days, when Tilray was a meme, it's pretty fun to pump him. I'm just wondering if those days will ever come back.
Like, do you sit down on the grass, look up at the sky, and just, you know,
Yes, I
wonder
watch
about
it.
these days?
I think about Tilray, and I'm wondering if it'll have a 100% day.
Yeah, well, Mind Medicine is up 15% ever since I came on here and talked total crap on the idea of pharmaceutical grade mushrooms. So I was wrong or something.
Yeah, I haven't touched Tilray in months, but just on the back burner. I don't know.
Do you still have positions in Tilray?
No, I have none.
Okay,
I'm watching it.
Well, I'm sure the stock would love to go very high. And on that note, I'm done.
I would say there's probably 100% customer satisfaction from the users, just not the stockholders. So,
Yeah, I think I've said a couple times, a little too much actually, that the CEO has said time and time again that they sell towels and energy drinks. And he does not see legislation being passed in the White House this year. So it will be a tough, challenging year for him. That's directly from the CEO's mouth. So if you want to support Tilray, go ahead and check out their energy drinks. But yeah, last time I checked, I'm not looking for you to go into the energy space. I need you to create some energy, different kind of energy for certain spaces, places.
Are the towels hemp?
You know, people have been asking me that, and I still don't have an answer for that. I'm still waiting for the CEO to get back to me. But apparently, snail mail from Japan can't be tracked that easily. So I do apologize. I figured email was kind of easy. He gets a little.
it's the end of the ocean. Those are slower. You got to go under.
Yeah, true. I just figured if it comes from Japan, he'll like open it, right? If I send it through the mail, from America, it's not going to be so interesting for him.
What does Japan stand on weed?
So fun fact for you, it's actually illegal here. I don't know who spread the rumor that it was legal, but it is illegal. And they are obviously trying to pass that on legislation, but it's one of those things that it's a hit or miss kind of deal. We will see.
If there was ever a country that needed some weed, man, I'm telling you, those Japanese people could really benefit.
Yeah, just imagine them working like 80 hours a week. I mean, or just imagine me talking to them on the train. That would be even more interesting. Like they sleep already on the train. I don't need them to sleep longer. I mean, geez.
Dude, you're making me want to spark up right now.
Have you ever seen people drink? Like I saw a guy in Japan like slowly pass out, like fall down, sliding along the train seat, fell off into the door. And when the door was opening and trying to close, it was like sandwiching his head and just like bouncing off his face. And the guy did not wake up. And no one did anything. I was the weird American when I dragged him back in the train and everybody stared.
I have no comment about that. I don't know if that story is true or not, but there are conductors that get off the train to see these kind of things. So I'm going to believe your story 5 out of 10. Sounds good though. It's a good storytelling.
Don't they have sake?
It was like 9:30 at night.
So weed is illegal here in Britain, but you'd never know that. And there's a new trend where everybody's importing weed from America now. So
it's called smuggling, but okay.
Yeah, it's illegal to bring it in.
It's there's a company here called there's a company called Dispensaru, and if you look up Dispensaru, everybody's ordering weed through that platform. There was like a few newspaper articles on it about a couple months ago, and yeah, I know some people that are doing it. They're importing it from California.
And so Dispensary Rue, is it a mail order business, or how's it work exactly?
Yeah, it's mail. Well, you go on the website, you order what you want, and it comes through the mail.
And the postman just brings it?
It's coming through successfully, yeah. It's
Okay.
because they have these bags where you don't detect it, you don't smell it. It doesn't smell.
But is it legit? Like it's legal, right? Just want to clarify that.
Well, I don't know.
He just said it's smuggling.
The company in the article said that they want to be more legit and pay UK taxes, but I don't know what's happening there. People are getting their weed, and the people are using it. That's all I know. So
I'll catch up, Elliot. We're inversing all of his plays. So
American weed is being sold in Britain. Let's just put it that way.
He said it's illegal. He said it's illegal.
Yeah, it's illegal.
He said it's illegal,
okay,
but they probably just don't enforce it that much.
Let's maybe try and bring this back to markets. Unless you guys are running some illegal drug operations, which let me just adjust my mic. I'm very interested to hear about.
I just wanted to say we could just close on this.
So
we could just close on this. We don't call it doing weed anymore, Uncle Bob. So
yeah, I know.
So
Narc.
Wow. So I wanted to. Well, I was looking for a play. I thought it was an American company coming over to the UK. So obviously we all love investing in stocks for our long-term portfolio. Tilray's gotten beaten down, no pun intended. And so I was just looking for an opportunity to see if there was like an international play from an American company. I was going to give it kudos, but sounds like it's still in the question.
Yeah, they're getting their weed from the US, so probably some of the big producers over there that's making the supplies.
All right, and the government pushback. So it is illegal, though, for the record, right? I just want to clarify.
Yeah, it's illegal, but they can't seem to stop it. Everybody's doing it.
Okay. Said enough. That's fine. I was just curious. I'm only asking for purposes of Aurora, Tilray, and the likes. Obviously those are companies that have stocks in the stock market. And what their buyers do with it is we don't really care as long as their stock goes up and they profit, right? We hope that they are legal and they do things that are within boundaries. But at the end of the day, I'm here to make some money, and if my company can make some money, I sure hope everyone's doing everything ethically. at the end of the day. But I can't sit there and babysit everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Napster used to be illegal, and now everybody's got MP3s like Spotify and Apple and all that stuff. It turned into a legal business. So, just saying.
Yeah, you guys are importing weed, and that's cool and all. I'm in California, and we're actually importing cocaine, and there's a great company that is doing it. It's called Coke, and their earnings are February 22nd.
As somebody who's been in a police raid for drugs, I would advise against it. The police aren't stupid; they know what they're doing.
You do realize this is the UK, though.
Have you guys not seen UPS and FedEx shipping centers? They have great thermal vision, and they are using AI technology to detect these things. The same stuff you see when you go through TSA in the airport in America. So yeah, it's not. This isn't like let's not act like we're in 1993, or let's even say let's go back to 2005. I don't even know when Napster was invented. Somebody wants to help me out here, but we aren't in Napster times either. So
Yeah, but our British Parliament does the most drugs. It's in the papers.
You know who doesn't have a very good infrared vision? Postmates.
Speaking of shipping, how do you guys think about logistics? Do you think it's they're ironing out the kinks there, or what's how are we looking?
Might be slowing down.
Logistics in the term of like airlines, or logistics in the term of
I was looking more like FedEx and UPS, so they do have trucks, and they do have airlines too as well.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't. Just to broaden the subject, I think we're all waiting for China to turn back on, and then the logistics of shipping companies and a few energy stocks. I'll be pushing money into those.
Yeah, but when you have the CEO of FedEx saying he's expecting a slow growth or downward look this year, I don't see how that helps if you're just betting on China reopening,
I wouldn't bet on FedEx as a China reopening play.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you have two different views from either China reopening or FedEx having a bearish outlook on the market. So which one would you pay more attention to?
Definitely China reopening.
I would argue China is technically open according to marine traffic. Obviously, they have a lot of exports still coming out. I don't know. Has anybody ordered off Wish.com or Alibaba lately?
I ordered off eBay.
Yeah, you just pick stuff up from AliExpress.
I'll jump in here on the FedEx. I have a family member that works with them, and currently they are pushing many of their full-time employees to a part-time status. I believe that has a lot to do with Amazon converting to their own deliveries. But yeah, they're definitely taking a hit on that. And then any thoughts on calls for Southwest Airlines? They are definitely in a dip.
I still out with that software problem they had.
Southwest is having a killer deal on flights right now. Do you know anything about that?
They had that snafu over the holidays where they had the software issue and they were caught. A lot of people were stuck and not a lot of answers. So I still think they're suffering some.
Yeah.
I'm more of a fan of Delta Airlines, to be honest. They invested a lot, invested heavily into in-flight Wi-Fi capabilities, to the point where you have enough data stream to stream like Netflix and movies and stuff to your phones and everything. So they took the time, they got the technology, they're reinventing a bunch of stuff. They redid their pilot contracts. So They're my favorite of the airlines right now.
Yeah, the pilot contract thing is huge because they're getting talent from other places because they're paying them better.
Yes,
and there's a pilot shortage.
Yes, and they have more planes than pilots, so that was choking their revenue stream. So they've got rid of the bottleneck and poached from other companies, or at least will, because it's a pretty sweet deal. I looked into it a little bit and heard some testimonials from other pilots. So that's why Delta is my favorite. If you're trying to buy love on the cheap, Southwest on the cheap, you might want to consider that the competition of Delta is going to start taking away their pilots, and Southwest should be reconsidering contract renegotiations to stay relevant.
And a good another good like air cargo play is Loose Ventures did some DD on a company called Mesa Airlines. It's a small 30-ish year old family started business, and they provide cargo services, I think, to American and United, and their stock is up 150% since Loose Ventures mentioned it.
With the airlines, you got the government grilling them too over those. They've had like 5 near misses in the last 2 months, so the government's pretty pissed off at them right now.
Near misses was, what do you mean?
Yeah, it was all over the news yesterday, like planes going on taxiways that they weren't supposed to and like almost colliding. There was an incident where a FedEx plane almost had a collision with a passenger plane with people on it. And I think it's just human error, but the government's grilling them and trying to figure out how to prevent this in the future.
Likely that's down to ground control. Ground control tells them what to do.
Yeah. Is that airlines, or is that the people that tell them, hey, land on runway 24 right or 24 left? I mean,
I'm not sure, to be honest. I just saw it in the news yesterday.
Yeah, it won't really affect the airlines unless they're getting fined by the FAA. So it won't
If
be
that
big.
ever goes fully through, right?
Yeah. Just to switch it up a bit, Crocs seems to be doing pretty good, and every time I look down, I'm seeing Crocs everywhere. It's like everybody has Crocs except me. What's going on?
Well, it sounds like you need some Crocs. I know in Asia they are definitely popular over here. You just slip them on, walk outside, and boom, you got some sandals.
and they're waterproof.
Yeah, I was in the club, and it's like everybody had Crocs on except me.
In the club?
In the club. In the club.
You might
Be
need
the
to switch clubs,
change.
man.
Be the change you wish to see in the world. Buy the Crocs.
They even have bling for Crocs. Like you can attach little trinkets
Yeah.
onto them and decorate them and all that kind of stuff. Little lights and flowers and people are blinging out like pimp my Crocs.
You gotta get out of the UK then.
My wife loves that
Crocs.
shit.
I'm gonna get a T-shirt that says "Pimp my Crocs" now. Thanks, Human Genome.
I'm gonna print mine first. But they're up 10% anyway. While everything else is down.
They had earnings this morning.
Okay. So see, they're making money.
I mean, apparel's been doing well. Lululemon keeps making like stupid amounts of money because I guess no matter how the economy is, people still need their Lululemon, and that is just an expense that they will find a way to afford. Rent be damned.
And
I just bought my wife $100 pair of fucking leggings from Lululemon.
Just one pair? Like one pair costs
One
100?
pair of leggings, $100.
It's
No
worth it,
way.
bro. It's worth it.
What do you mean it's worth
time I
it?
bring up-
She says they're the best leggings there are, hands down.
Wait.
Like nothing else
Well,
compares.
tell us, is it?
Kudos to your wife. What's the ticker?
Lululemon.
Lulu.
Every time I
LULU.
bring up Lululemon, I feel like I always hear the same answer from obviously the majority male Reddit crowd is always like, I don't shop there, but my wife went in once, came out with a bag filled with stuff, and now we have to go there every week because she won't go anywhere else. I feel like that's just like a universal answer when every Lululemon comes up.
I feel like if someone's significant other is going into Lululemon every other week, that's a red flag in my book. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying I hear a lot like that when my friend Mr. Ape commented like he bought his wife a pair of $100 leggings. I feel like I hear that story a lot from people who are like, yeah, I've been buying my wife stuff from Lululemon, or she keeps going to Lululemon. It seems to be quite popular.
Why you out
They
here,
also
man?
sell makeup, so that's probably why they go in so often.
And her boyfriend compliments her how good she looks in the Lululemon pants.
Jeez. I'm not going to talk about the durability of these pants, by the way, because I have no idea. But I will say, I am curious who's going to.
You're definitely leaning in that way. Anyhow,
I definitely am curious. I'm not going to lie. But I am also going to say I am wondering like who's going to take them out. Like Under Armour used to be popular, right? And I guess, tell me if I'm wrong, but is Under Armour now the mayor of some state?
Well,
so that's strange. Go ahead.
No one's taking them out. Lululemon actually has like a patent on like the way that they make the crotch in the pants so that women don't have camel toes, and that's what like sent them
That's
over
impressive.
over the moon. Well, it was invented by a man, and I'm very jealous of that guy.
I hope you realize I had to sprint out of the room as soon as you said best leggings ever, because there's no way I'm spending $100 to buy leggings on my pregnant girlfriend that she can wear for 2 weeks.
But they're going to be comfortable.
Costco, baby.
Dude, you joke, but seriously, if she buys something from Lululemon, it's gonna become a thing. I've heard this story so many times.
crotch stability. That's all I'm gonna say now.
So is there a market
crotch
for-
stability? Well, I need a pair.
So Lululemon. and
I am pretty bullish on crotch stability, I have to admit.
Oh, now he's interested in the products. Interesting.
I'm red now. Oh my god, I'm dying.
Did he say crotch or Crocs?
He said Crocs.
Also, since
No, he said crotch.
Since this information about their patent came from Slut Spoiler, someone who I'm sure is very familiar with buying female friends Lululemon related products, it's probably the best firsthand source we've had on this sub, maybe ever.
What's the name of that song? Different hoes in every area code. I mean, come on, man. Right? That's Slut Spoiler all day long.
So Radioactive Booger in the comment section says Athleta, which is owned by Gap, says it's a better brand. I'm curious what you guys' opinions on that is.
We'd have to get a woman up here to answer
I
that.
was just gonna say that.
Yeah,
Well,
come on up, ladies.
We are not the primary customers. I just hear a bunch of men talking about how their wives or significant others demand Lululemon, but I don't know what makes it good.
You want me
do
to grab her? I'll
apologize.
have her tell you about it if you want.
Yeah, no, if you can. I just want to know, I do apologize then. Is there anybody that hangs out ladies in here that can ask about this product? I guess I should rephrase the question. Or Radioactive Booger, do you want to come up here and talk about Athleta or Tiger Momo? Just curious.
I can ask some ladies. Let me text my mom real quick.
I like how Ayat was like, hey, is there anyone here who hangs out with ladies? Not even asking if there are actually females in the audience, just like glazing right over that to like, do any of you guys know women?
Well, I just figured at the end of the
Olinko.
day, you guys know how to turn your mic on.
This reminds me of when we were talking about purses, and I was like, "What do you think, fellas? What do you think?"
No,
Louis
I see.
Vuitton's gonna
I
come
see
out
you
with
ladies
next?
down there. I see you ladies
I
down
like
there.
my purses myself.
I can see the
It's
next.
called a satchel.
Where's
I
our
mean,
Merce. A
on a
Merce.
serious note, Lululemon is like a legit company that seems to be gaining a lot of popularity. Like
It is.
all joking aside, like obviously, yes, it's weird to have a bunch of guys being like, women's apparel, tell me about that. But like there's a real company there.
So this could be the next trend for
Men's
Christmas.
apparel is
then.
also comfy.
I
So
just want to
their
make
third-
sure everybody understands that they don't just sell women clothing, right? Like I bought in many men's pants, like golf pants, all types of stuff. They're super comfortable. Yeah, they're like $100, but they last forever.
And how did you like the way you looked in them? But hold on,
They were fresh, bro.
Their third quarter earnings were like really bad because I remember I wasn't playing them, but I was definitely watching them as part of my VSCO play. And
You're watching the pants or the stock?
The stock. So the stock.
Well, I like the pants on the ladies.
I think it dropped significantly. For some reason, 30% is in my mind, but yeah, it dropped pretty hard, and I knew it was not true. I should have gone long on them there, but they seem to be not matching the earnings. But it was a tough year, I guess.
How did the fourth quarter do? That's more important. That's Christmas.
That I don't know. I don't even know when the earnings were.
If you're talking April to May, it was like 30%.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks.
So their next headline is going to be WallStreetBets talks Lululemon.
Peak 404, trough 257 ish.
But they've beaten earnings every time. The past 4.
I would love for any lady who knows Lululemon intimately to give me some DD on that.
Yeah, I try to invite up Kat's mom, not to put you on the spot, ladies, and some other ladies down there that have been very vocal about their shopping experience, which we do appreciate, by the way. And we promise to be on our best behavior if you come up.
Are they in the comment?
I'll invite Feeling Fun. I believe that was someone who shops online too. I'm calling you out because I'm just hoping you can come up, help us out, or fellas, if you have some insight, we appreciate that too. But feel free. Oh, Kat's mom, welcome. Thank you for accepting my invite. You are a lady, and you might know other ladies, and so I was just wondering if you can give us some insight to the gap play, which is Atleta, I believe it's called, which is a weird name. But yeah, go ahead.
Atletica.
It's a female twist on the word athlete.
I see. Kat's mom, are you in?
She's muted. You got to hit the mic button in the bottom middle of the screen. That mic button is in such a weird place.
This is unfortunate because I can tell just by her snoo. That's a Lululemon right there. That's a customer.
Can you unmute her? She's still muted.
It looks like she came back down, but or she left. Maybe she'll come back in real quick. But if you don't know Kat's mom, she actually was shopping at Big Lots in different places, and was a nice lady to tell us about her shopping experience. So hopefully we can get her back up here. If any other ladies want to come up here, or if any fellas want to do a two-way call, feel free to call and get on the line here. We can ask some questions directly through the phone. So Spoiler is really good about doing that. So, Tiger Momo, how you doing?
Hard.
Hey guys, I don't have any Lululemon chime in, but I do have a play to make you guys feel better about yourselves. I have 100 shares of NerdWallet, and I sold a covered call on it for $12.50. So that's going very well.
NerdWallet, bro. We're trying to get chicks up here.
I do want to comment on your play, but I also want to be respectful to the people who got invited up to talk about Lululemon and not just silence them on a new topic.
Go for it.
Yeah. If the Tiger Momo, did you want to say anything?
Well, if you want to ask me about Lululemon, Athletica, those stores, I shop at them.
Which do you like better?
I like Athletica better, but Athletica doesn't have a store nearby where I live. I live in New York City, and Lululemon has opened a bunch of storefronts. So I'll look at stuff online. And I have a, I know a lot of teenagers because I have kids. So I'll go shopping for them and with them. And I bought a bunch of stuff at Lululemon, but I like Athletica better. I tend to look online and then go into the store and try them all on, to see what works and what doesn't work, because it can be very different. What you see and how it fits. So
Why do you like Athletica better?
they have more of variety, and I feel like it's a little bit it's swankier, like cooler styles and designs, and there's more.
Are you talking about Athleta, the Gap brand, the Gap company?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
they
I like them too.
They don't have a convenient storefront for me, but the Lululemon just opened in a mall near here, like at Fulton Street, Flatbush. There's a new store in a mall where Century 21 used to be. So I'll go there and did a lot of shopping, and it's okay. I mean, it's
when you do make the trek to this Athletica, and you're in New York, which is fashion capital of the world, would you say that you see a lot of customers there?
No, I would say no. I was there at Christmas time and there weren't very many customers. The staff was very friendly and helpful, I found, but I didn't feel like it was crowded. It's a new store, but I didn't feel like anything was crowded around the holidays. I go to the storefronts and it's nothing seems very crowded here, honestly, but people are shopping there. I went to all the sneaker stores too, up near Rockefeller Center. People wanted these gifts, so I go look online and go in person and check out their flagship stores, see what's there in person.
Wow. I'm on lululemon.co.uk, and a 5-pack of female underwear is 88 pounds. That's 100 US bucks. That's 20 bucks for an underwear.
Well,
yeah, it's not cheap.
I think Uniqlo is much more. Uniqlo is, people are shopping there more. Uniqlo is actually very crowded. There's a Uniqlo in the mall near where I live. There's a Uniqlo up near MoMA, like their flagship store, and that store is packed.
Tiger, how long?
Uniqlo.
Oh yeah, Uniqlo.
The Uniqlo is Japanese based, by the way.
And they actually spend a lot
Korean.
in the city, like sponsoring like a night at MoMA, and they've got all the like Basquiat, Andy Warhol, Keith Haring. They go through a series of artists with these limited brand T-shirts that people love. So I would say that's the most crowded store that I go to.
How long have you lived in the city, Tiger?
Since the 80s.
Okay, so I was curious, what you had seen in the way of trends or not. Thank you.
I moved to the city in the 80s. Pretty young, very young.
Everyone throw up the Doge for Tiger Momo real quick before spoiler goes. Sorry about that. Throw up the Doge for Tiger Momo, just bringing in that advice, sound advice over the centuries. So we appreciate your time and stay on board here. Slut Spoiler might have a question for you. Go ahead, Slut.
Well, yeah, I wanted to apologize up front for being so forward, but I wanted to know how these two brands, Lululemon and Athleta, make you feel comparatively. Does one make you feel more sexy, accentuate your curves? Does one be more comfortable? And you don't have to answer if I'm getting too personal. I just wanted to know.
Well,
I wanted to know the target audience and what occasion.
It's a fair question, right, Tiger Momo? It's a fair question, right, Tiger Momo?
Yeah, I guess. I feel like I like the Athletica better. The Lululemon, I feel, is more directed at a bit younger audience. So, I'm middle-aged, but my daughter and her friends, teenagers, right? So they prefer it. And I think they look lovely, in these, but they like the Athletica better, I think. These are kids that are doing regular, like, they'll go to soccer, they'll go play Frisbee, they'll go, they'll do a lot of activities. Go to college age, right? Like,
Are they TikToking the brand?
no, that's not really a thing, really for these city kids. City kids seem to be dropping that sort of online thing is getting to be out of fashion, honestly. I see it. Does that make sense? It seems like not
that is surprising, but yeah,
Old words.
not cool, among a certain, I guess, college age group. It's like, okay, we're going. I don't know. That's where I'm at. That's the group that I know about.
Well, women's fashion has always struggled to get online presence or exclusivity to online shopping. Women like to touch and feel and try on, and they come in all shapes and sizes. So it's hard to judge the curvature of things from behind a computer screen.
Well, I think you look at it online and you say, oh, this looks good. Let's go in the store and check it out. And then you go in and you're like, what? You put it on, and see how it fits your body type. Everybody is wanting to know, like, does my ass look good in this? That's very important, right? That's very important. You look, how is it fitting there? You've got a big booty, you got a little one. How does it fit? Big women's clothes. I live in an area with a lot of big women's clothes, and how they fit is very important. And if you do not see clothing that looks, it's better if it can fit bigger people too. Like if you see a brand that's only, I guess, moving towards just skinny women, people out here are like, oh, skinny women, skinny white woman. Oh,
Aeropostale.
what?
I feel that. Throw the Doge for thick women.
You need pants that are going to stretch to fit every body type, different sizes.
Fat bottom girl makes the rock and roll go around.
So that's important when you try things on and why you need to go, because they have really tight around the waist and it doesn't expand, but sometimes they do, there aren't really too many crotch tricks or anything that I've found. You just have to figure out what works with your body type, which is why people go in to shop for them in person, I think. And if you find something that works, then you're going to order more of it.
Yeah.
Hey, Cat's mom, you want to chime in here? Now I think you're back. Do you want to try to chime in?
I agree. I like Athleta better than Lululemon. I've got both, but I think Athleta makes your booty look better.
Nice.
Ticker is Gap. By the way, ticker is Gap. GAP.
Yeah, so this is GAP, which is known for like cheap quality clothes. With all due respect to Gap, so I'm quite surprised. So with that in mind, for someone who would be on the fence and think, Gap has been known for kind of, being a little cheap sometimes. What would be your argument for that at the end of the day? If someone said, "Well, I'm gonna go with Lulu. It seems like it'd be better quality." Well, how would you counter that?
I've got both, but I prefer going to the gym. I prefer the Athleta brand. I think it works and moves with you a little better than the Lululemon. I don't know. I like it better myself. It's more comfortable.
It's a better performance. That's important.
I think so. I like it a lot better. Yeah, it's better for jogging. It's better for the gym. It holds up a little better, despite the fact it's a cheaper brand. I mean,
How much cheaper?
It's not a lot cheaper, I don't think, but it's more. I prefer something that'll last a little better. I don't think the Lulu used to be better. I think. I just don't think the quality is as good as it used to be. But
that's what I'm kind of curious about then. Like, why is it that Lululemon was known as more popular, or why would people choose it, knowing it's more expensive and maybe the same quality?
Well, you want something that's going to last and that works well, especially if you're going to be working out in it and you're having to wash it constantly and everything. So it's going to go through a lot. You want it to last. I just like it a little better. That's all.
So guys, if you only want to buy your woman Lululemon every 5 years, Go for the Atletica brand instead.
They're
It lasts
both
longer.
they're both pretty good. I just prefer the Athleta a little better.
Yeah, that the Lululemon seems to be like thicker, but if you're working out,
Yes,
exercising, it's not as comfortable. So it
I
just
agree.
comes like, oh, this is too hot, you know? Maybe it doesn't seem like really for athletic wear like other brands.
It's a little too warm. I would agree as well.
So it's for like those winter jogs, huh?
Probably. I in the winter, fall, yes, it's better.
Yeah, there's other brands if you're really like exercising and working out, biking, you know, playing sports, go to the
Exactly.
Do you guys are you guys aware of the brands Story and Patula?
What? No.
No.
Okay, just all right. Asking for a friend. Thank you.
Well,
Depends
while
on
you're
whatever
here,
you just said.
while you're here, what do you think
brand?
about the Crocs, ladies? What do you think about Crocs?
Well, Crocs have been around for a long time, and they were very popular with some people I know, like especially with touring. All these guys were into the Crocs for touring because you didn't have to wear socks. You could rent that, you know. I find as a woman, I wear them, I get blisters, and I don't find them. I find them like, oh, you know, easy slip on, slip off. But I threw all mine out.
Yeah.
I don't wear it. It's just I don't like it at all. You know,
Yeah.
I don't like them.
I
Guys,
don't either.
I think guys maybe like them, but no.
I'm
Okay.
with you. Totally, I don't like them. I
Guy,
buy high-end tennis shoes instead.
So if
Yeah.
I can ask that important question real quick, if you don't mind. So should we say bye bye to Lululemon and hello at whatever however you pronounce this company? Gap, I guess you would say. Yeah.
Well, she was
Athletica.
very clear. She was very clear. Her butt looks better in Athleta.
I think
Okay.
so. My hubby.
Would you
thinks
say
so.
your friends? Would you say your friends too as well? Like that's important, right?
Well, yes, because we ask each other. Because we're not going to wear something that makes us look bad.
So technically, Lululemon is out of the picture, right?
Most of my friends wear Athleta.
All right.
They prefer
Wow.
it.
Athleta gets the headlines from Wall Street Bets.
Well, now the thing about Athleta though is it's wrapped up in the rest of the Gap brand.
Right.
So the rest of the Gap brand's got to pull its weight.
Yeah, and they still have what, Old Navy, some other brands.
So.
Well, I would say those sporty brands, you know, like Nike,
Right.
there's so many of those. I think those are more popular too.
What do you think about Adidas? Adidas.
Well, you know, everybody wants that stripe. Those things are hard to come by sometimes. Certain brands, you know, people are nuts for certain brands of Adidas and the pants. You know, you're out on the field, you're with your friends, you want your stripe going down your leg. Boys and girls love that. I don't know why.
True.
I have some for sure, you know, and I put it on. I'm like, look at my stripe, and out I go.
Kind of like the anti-Nike a little bit too. Not that I'm saying either company's better, but
North Face has some decent stuff too.
Yeah.
Under Armour.
I never get that.
Is that like the Lululemon of Nike and Adidas?
I don't know. It seems like overpriced for not that great.
Yeah, I was never impressed with it either.
So it's like Lululemon. All right, you guys hear it?
Ladies and gentlemen, let's throw up the Doge a couple more times for these ladies up here. We do appreciate you. Please don't go anywhere. We really appreciate your insight because obviously we don't know all the answers at the end of the day. This is Wall Street Bets. Yes, ladies do trade. Yes, ladies do shop. And yes, ladies do have insights to companies. So we do appreciate it nonetheless. Yeah, but I digress.
And yes, ladies are degenerates.
So
Yeah.
it sounds like, based on all this information, Athletica is a little more popular. So maybe since it's a subset of Gap, rather than Gap calls, maybe Lulu puts. There's a company out there that's going to be taking from Lululemon. Sounds like.
Lululemon has definitely had a long run of not being competed against.
They opened up all these new storefronts. That's why I started going there. This new storefront. There's so many. A lot of places are closed, but I know for sure Lululemon opened a lot, and that's why I think they're having a market push. So
I just
Yeah,
looked real
location,
quick.
location.
Yes.
Always.
Lulu's at a 35, call it 36 PE ratio. Gap is at 129 right now.
Is that PE? Is that backwards PE or forward PE though?
Forward.
Okay.
So I would like to point out that Lulu has sort of become a lifestyle brand now, and not so much worried about the athletic side, I feel like. And they've also got into like hardware, such as like their smart mirrors and whatnot. So we might need to take that into account,
Wait. What's a smart mirror?
like the exercise mirrors or whatnot.
What?
It's like a ghost trainer. Like stand in front of the mirror. All right, let's do curls. All right, now we'll do this stretch. And like,
You know how
Oh,
Peloton has those screens with like the trainer video on it that like tells you run, run, run? Imagine if you took that
Oh,
screen and made it a mirror, like a full stand-up mirror that you hung on the wall, and then the
oh,
person said run, run, run.
something like that in the store, but it was not working.
Yeah, the smart mirror basically it
you're fine.
watches your movements and your form to make sure that you're doing it correctly, and it's the mirror version of Peloton and encourages you to keep going. It's kind of a crock of shit. I think it's like
Right,
$2,000 or
right.
$3,000.
Medium.
I know.
I think it's medium.
I know someone who has a smart mirror. Personally, she says she loves it.
I got you with that because you said you had a lot of black clothes. Check that out. This one's kind of small, but that was like the last size they had. You like that? I know you're gonna like. It came from the same store. You know that store.
What?
So
Okay, sorry. I think he was on hot mic there. I couldn't tell if he was giving advice or what was going on, but I think he was picking out something for somebody.
Hey, sorry guys, I was talking to my son. Sorry.
no, it's all right.
No, it's
We
okay.
wanted to know what was going on. Keep going.
Yeah, I didn't know if you're talking about smart mirror or not. Miss Elderberry, do you have a question for you on that smart mirror? Is it picky? Is it good? Is it lag? How's that work? Is this a
Honestly,
new thing we should be looking at, or?
I have not tried it. I've seen the demos in the store. To me, it's a waste of money unless you really just like working out by yourself and having AI correct your form.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's really trendy for like young or super fit girls or guys who just like to look at themselves in the mirror.
Correct. Exactly.
If I mounted an iPad on the wall, what would the difference be?
The iPad probably doesn't have the capability of correcting your form.
I was trying to look here. Yes, sorry. I canceled. Give me a second.
I know the mic button's in a hard place, but find the mute button.
Yes, it is. It is production.
I'm serious.
Find
So,
it,
if I had,
it's not that easy.
Oh boy.
Okay, guys.
Yeah,
Just some housekeeping, real quick. Sorry. If you are not talking about anything related to fit or mirror, please mute your mic. We don't need to know about your orders. It is a sly way of telling us your inside information, but not right now, please. Thank you.
Yeah, so I just looked into the mirror stuff on top of what I said. They looks like they have like a membership for it too, so that's probably helping their market.
So, like as far as the hardware goes, sorry, Red, go ahead.
It's fine. I was just going to say the one thing I would want to know about a smart mirror, if it's going to correct your form, how does it do with different body types, different body shapes, varying skin colors? Because that has had impact on products that they've used on people where the different levels of melatonin, let's put it, can actually drastically impact how the product accurately or inaccurately interacts with people. So that's the type of stuff I would want to know about a smart mirror specifically.
Yeah, if you've ever, excuse me, I've been doing like yoga and every type of fitness class for a while now, and I'm semi-certified myself to teach. And anytime you're doing something virtually or in a mirror or whatever, it's never going to approximate a person in the room with you in sort of a 3D or like 4D space, as we'd call it, because you're experiencing the atmosphere as well that they're in. And things like yoga, for example, the slightest like 3-degree rotation of your hips completely changes the stance. So there's just no way that a mirror or even, like a virtual class that became popular during COVID can do that for you. And I would go even further as to say a lot of box gyms and, these really, low cost cookie cutter gyms that just cram a whole bunch of people into one class. They don't give the type of instruction and guidance that you need, because form is so important to any type of exercise.
So
I couldn't agree with you more. Whoever just said that, you
This
were
is
100%
feeling
correct.
fun. Yeah.
Feeling fun. What is your favorite yoga brand of pants?
Well, I've drunk the Kool-Aid for Athleta as well. They're not only, yes, they are a Gap brand, but actually I've applied to work there as a product manager because they're for women, by women, designed by women, for women, and they have important things like completely seamless exercise clothes. And when you're a woman sitting on a bike for a few spin classes a day, that is crucial, right? And things that, obviously wick the sweat away and are just, pleasing to wear. They also, focus on doing things from recycled plastic. So they, even though they are part of the Gap, and Gap's like a huge conglomerate at this point, they really are run separately as their own, sort of subsidiary.
So hopefully a spin-off is what I'm hearing. And
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's great that they have the Gap, the Gap finances behind them now, because that they are like financed by Barclays Bank, has their credit cards, and they have a great loyalty programs that cross over all the Gap entities. So Old Navy, Gap, Athleta, and a few other things, and then all their factory stores. So I use one of their credit cards, like their MasterCard, right? Like a Athleta MasterCard. And I get shit tons of free stuff because their retail prices are really high. But my net cost for all my Athleta stuff is probably 25% of retail is what I actually end up paying. So
now, are the people in your class kind of following suit? Do you tell them that? Are they doing the same thing too? Are you sharing these kind of pointers?
So I live in the Boston area, and there's just everything here, right? So there's just too much. There's deep market saturation of every brand, every store, so there's just so much variety out there. I wouldn't even put I wouldn't even claim to be any type of trendsetter in that sense. But I do see, you do see, we get about 1 million college students every year. And they're they're trend setting. They're the ones that might be, would be driving something like, Lululemon popularity and other, we have all these pop-up stores and all the, in the trendy like Seaport district, and the kids love that. And I'm past college age now, so I'm looking for more like other women here said, like, you want stuff that's going to wash, it's going to hold up, it's not going to pill, it's going to be super comfy and fab to wear, it's going to go with all my other styles, and it's just going to make me want to work out when I throw the stuff on. I'm like, yeah, that's looking fine, and I'm going to be happy to go to the gym wearing this.
I think the interesting part you brought up was the kind of the mission around Athleta, right? Like the culture and the mission revolved around it. It's, that it really caters towards kind of the women's, not just the athletic piece to it, but kind of what it stands for.
Yeah, and they have lifestyle clothing too,
which I haven't
like
heard
comfy,
from Lulu. Yeah,
like lounge clothing, beach clothing. I love their hoodies and cover ups. They have a lot of stuff.
What are some
of
your
stuff too?
What are some of your other favorite brands that you like to wear or that you see? Sorry, I know you had one, Elliot.
I was just going to say, let's drop the Doge for ladies still staying in par here to these questions. We don't get many ladies coming around here very often. So when they do come around, these boys are feisty. With the questions, that is, with their DD. So let's hope the Doge one more time for these ladies. Thank you for your patience as you answer these questions. Some of these guys have no contact outside world. So we do appreciate it. One more time, everybody, throw up the Doge. So I digress. Go ahead, ladies. I do apologize for interrupting.
You said that it was by women for women. How important is that to you as a consumer?
Well, if it's bullshit, right? Anyone can say I'm by women for a woman, right? And it's just a tagline, right? I've done my stint.
I would like to stop you and say I say it all the time, and I do mean that. I digress.
Yeah, but you say by women. By women.
Right,
yeah, that's true. I do use it in the BUY point. Yeah, okay.
You put a spin on
Yeah.
it.
See, we're fine with our
It's
wives,
clever.
boyfriends, or girlfriends. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not important at all. It's the proof is in the quality, right? It's like if it was, they could say whatever they want, they can have the nice styles, but when I wear it and it fits great, and it fits great the 10th time, the 20th time, the 30th time, and I'm not getting any nasty. I'm not getting any bad things from wearing one outfit for 4 hours if I have to. Then yeah, that's what it's all about. And then, like I said, the loyalty program is really important, and that they haven't cheapened their quality. Like, coming back to what someone said about Gap being sort of a cheap brand. Gap used to be known for the place to go for jeans when I was like a toddler. Like I remember my older cousins and siblings going like, "Oh, we got to go to the Gap and get our." So, and it used to be the place to get your school clothes and stuff, and it was like a relatively good quality brand. But I agree that they've sort of watered things down. But a lot of things have, as Banana Republic is the other store in that, completing that the Gap brand. And I used to get all my professional clothes from there, my blazers and sort of fly style clothing from them, and they just got cheaper. You can tell just like the seams aren't right, the buttons aren't as great, the material became all like you got to wear 3 layers so you can't see my undergarments. So
Well,
yeah,
and
so
here's sorry to interrupt,
I'm good.
Fun, but one of the biggest issues with women's clothing, we have to try it on. We have to touch and feel it. But ever since the pandemic and everything going to online shopping, we necessarily don't have the ability to walk into a store and try all of this stuff on. So we're stuck with the dilemma of, okay, order it, pray that it fits. If it doesn't fit, then you have to return it, wait for the right size to come in. It's a pain in the ass. Buying women's clothing is a pain in the ass.
And I think that's also been shown with all the issues with returns, because people started ordering 3 or 4 things, right? That's part of the issue.
Yes.
Correct. You could order multiple sizes and find the one that fits you right.
Do you think that Lululemon's gone a little bit too aggressive with their store expansion, or do you think it's good for the company? More convenient, and that's why you'd rather shop there than Athleta, even though you are expressing more favor towards Athleta?
That's me feeling. I think that I was just looking across the Boston area and Massachusetts in general, but where they're popped up, and yeah, they're in all the trendy. They even have pop-up stores. You guys are familiar with that, right? There's a little pop-up, maybe temporary place in a little storefront just to have a presence and they're in all the trendiest neighborhoods where you'd expect the college kids to go.
And then they'll put it on social media, right? Only one day.
Yeah.
11. Yeah.
Right. And then then the kids will be wearing, and literally the kids, like 10-year-olds, will be wearing the Lululemon on their TikTok. I saw these 2 young girls, no parents around, running around Starbucks making different TikToks, and I'm like, okay. So nothing. I mean, whatever. That's the market. I think it's just more of a trendy market, as well as with the mirror that goes for it too. Whereas Athleta, they pair up with local yoga studios and spinning studios, and they do some free community classes, at least in my area. So they pair up with things that already exist rather than trying to have this sort of, I don't know, elite status type thing. So yeah, I don't know. I digress. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, I hope so. Kat's mom or Tiger Momo, if you want to chime in on that, or Miss Elderberry, feel free to.
What's the question?
There was a lot of questions. Whichever you feel like answering. I guess if you guys want to chime in with your questions back again, so Tiger Momo can answer.
I decided while I'm talking, I'd go through my tights and pants and see what I actually do have. I've got a lot, and I'm realizing I do a lot of shopping at REI and Paragon. Are you familiar with Paragon?
No.
Yeah.
No. Is a big athletic store in near Union Square. Been there for many years. So you go to different departments and they have many different brands. So you want hiking, you want exercise, you want skiing, you go there. And so I have quite a bit from there. And because I do hike and do all that stuff. So, I get that. And then I find that I've got some really like brands that are like one-offs. I spend a lot of time shopping at Century 21. Unfortunately, that store is closed, but it's a rumor they're reopening. And Century 21 would carry a lot of off brands. I guess now there's a few places to go, like Nordstrom Rack, places like that where you get the designer brands. So I'll buy a lot of clothes like that. And I like to buy clothes that are very like stand outish, like wild patterns for my bottoms. Like I have bright orange, I have leopard, I have like native pattern, I have white and red. I love these.
Again, so what shoes will you wear with those? I know it's a mix, but what's your favorite?
What shoes?
Yeah, like if you're in the city, what do you wear?
Well, in the winter I wear different types of boots. I have all these different boots that I wear. I don't wear shoes in the winter, because I wear boots because I go into the park, I'm in the mud, I walk, I wear the boots in the winter because they're sexy too. So, once it gets to like 60, 65, 70, I'll wear my sneakers because it's too hot to wear those boots anymore. So yesterday I did wear my sneakers and went biking. So I wear really expensive sneakers. I can't remember what they all are, but I spend money on shoes. I don't know. I could go look in the closet.
I spend money on shoes too.
Yeah, like I like this Bjorn for Bjorn, and there's different brands that are really good for your support wise, because I walk a lot. Clark's is another great brand, and then different sneakers, like not like Saucony's one. Saucony, do you know that? That brand is good. And then there's another one.
What about on those shoes that are the athletic shoes that are supposed to be really good for support? Have you heard of those?
Yeah, I have heard of those, but I don't have
heard of them. I wear Brooks though. That's what works for me best.
Yeah, Brooks are great too. I have. That's what the brand I was thinking of. I have several pairs of those.
I love Brooks. I buy them. I'm a totally vested with that company. I love them. Great brand.
Yeah, if there's any foot fetishists that would love to come up and talk about shoes, we'd appreciate having you up as well.
Well, do you guys still wear Uggs? Are those still popular?
Mom, they're too hot and floppy in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, let's come on, guys. You should know a little bit about women's fashion. Come on.
Yeah, Uggs are still
like to
popular
let
with the teens.
I don't
So
know.
I wear Timberland
I don't
boots.
see them happening anymore so much.
What are your boots? What are your boots, Tiger? I like Timberland in the wintertime. Black.
No, I'm not wearing that at all. Not at all. I've got these are like designer boots,
Like goth boots.
Like Kevin Cole or whatever, Marc Jacobs.
Yeah, I got a ton of trendy
cowboy
boots
boots. What are these? Are these Marc Jacobs?
Let's throw the Doge for these ladies sharing about their fashion, their insight, their closets. Even it sounds like some of these girls are walking in their closets.
Yeah, I am. Kevin Cole reaction boots. I love these boots.
Oh, I love Kevin Cole.
Oh, Cole's nice.
So I was gonna say I'm hearing a mix of brands. So where do you like to go get these? Or where do you find?
Fluvog is another one. Do you know Fluvog?
No.
I can't lie to you. No.
That's the top of the top, man. They are the best. They're like designer shoes, boots that are just fabulous. Fabulous. I was there the other day.
So you're in New York, right?
Yeah.
I would say downtown New York, like the Strip, right? Technically.
No, I live in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, okay. I'm gonna get hate for that, by the way. I do apologize. So Brooklyn, is it? Would you say? And please, I do apologize in advance for not being, aware of this. That's why I'm asking the question. Is it? Would you say like it's still like Times Square fashion, or how's that?
Times Square fashion. Times Square is just like, Times Square is kind of a hellhole. There's like just tourists and a lot of criminals, and there's a lot going on in Times Square. I have somebody I know is up there every day for school, and it's like, oh, what's happened? It's that's where.
Think Olive Garden, right? It's like the worst of it.
There's there's a lot of stuff there, but a lot of things, like there used to be a lot of music stores, things like that, are gone, and it's catering to tourists. Like I would go there once in a while and go to a store, or if I want to go to a show or something and I'll be in that neighborhood, I'll go somewhere, but it's more like, oh boy, look at what's happening here. Look at all these. There's a lot of people in the costumes. It's like it's
tourist. It's a tourist trap, right?
So it's like okay to see, but I flee if I have to go there, and I'll tend to shop like if I go into the city, I go like in Midtown, like Uniqlo is near MoMA, so I'll go to Uniqlo and then I'll go see a show at MoMA. Like this afternoon, I'm gonna go meet a friend. I'm gonna go to the Guggenheim, and maybe I'll shop somewhere in Midtown. But I tend to do more of my shopping in Brooklyn, and I really like to buy things locally if possible. But there's a lot of designers. There's actually with all the closing of the major storefront, there's a lot of pop-ups happening. Like you go to Canal Street and there'll be these kids selling like 5 different things. They'll be selling like a really great like hip hop kind of brand t-shirt, and then they'll have like some edibles, and then they'll have their coins, and then they want you to buy like a NTF to get a free this. Like that's a lot, and that's I find very interesting. They're also selling artwork. They're selling their art. They got some video art. They've got some clothes. They've got some cookies. They've got these little stores all over. Those I think are one of the better things that have come out of the pandemic. Is these young kids? I would say in their upper teens, 20s. Opening up their own little brands, and some of them are doing quite well.
That's so cool. That's so cool, Tiger Mama. I love to see that.
Yeah, so you just walk around. You find sometimes they have outposts. It's New York is in this stage with the gray laws, with the cannabis. Where all these stores are opening too that are like, oh, what is happening? Like a lot, like 1,000. And we've got I think 3 legal stores now, so they're starting to shut them. The gray area illegal stores they're starting to shut them down and busting them. The sheriffs are, but it's also in this time period where there's a lot of like delivery. It's wild, it's wild. It's like the Wild West with all of that right now. So I think that's going to change as the legalization rolls through and they start shutting things down because they're going to want their profits. But the suppliers are like, where are they getting all this stuff from? It's been tested and it's been found to be like, oh, this is mold, this one is this one is that. So it's very questionable.
Yeah, it's a big business, cannabis. Real business.
shops like in Washington Square on the corner by the school. They'll just set up a pop-up. You know, you get your COVID test on one corner, you go buy some edible thing at the other corner, you know, and they're selling to kids and people are getting upset, and it's, you know, not, that's what it is. But in the midst of all that, there's a lot of fashion, music, a lot of great trends coming out of that. It's fun, especially like I think to walk around in sort of Chinatown, Lower East Side, downtown is where, you know, there's some in Brooklyn, but that seems to be where the most of it is. You know, there's a lot of graffiti culture. It's really great, in my opinion. I like underground culture, so.
We do appreciate your insight and also the information on that. Obviously, not all of us can visit Brooklyn right now, or you know, experience it the way you can. So we do appreciate it, and we hope that you come back around. More shows to come, obviously, not just today. So we do appreciate your insight, and for all the ladies that have been here today, please throw the Doge up. Ladies, I have just one last question for you. The guys might have another question for you, so I will digress after this. But I'm just curious if you guys could pick two companies, or no, let's go three, right? Three companies this year that you say I would add that to my portfolio. What companies would those be and why?
What?
Stock portfolio, yeah.
Well, definitely would buy Apple. And I'm looking at this. I'm looking at for the EVs you were talking about. I'm looking at the Hyundai Koya, I think it's called. It has a car. I don't know. My sister's buying these types of EV cars. My family, I have a lot of family upstate, and they're all getting EVs. So I'm putting in solar. So I've driven that car, and I think it's great. So I was thinking about that, but it's so stagnant. You know, it doesn't go up or down. I've been looking at it for like a year, and I'm thinking maybe that would be. I'm looking at an EV company, but that's one of them. And I don't know. You put me on the spot here.
Well, yeah, I can jump in and give you some time if you like. It's feeling. I mean,
Yeah.
I just like to buy and hold for long term for, you know, retirement's sake and stuff like that. I always wanted to afford a bunch of Apple, Google, and J&J, Johnson & Johnson. Just like, you know, just they're boring. They're not. I'm not a day trader, so but it's just like if I could just, you know, pocket some of that in my back pocket for future stability.
You just reinvest the dividends, right, in your retirement
Yeah.
account. Just let it grow.
Yeah, just let it grow.
Yeah,
And, you know, well, you know, depending
Johnson
if I all of a sudden became a day trader, then, you know, I might revisit that, but not currently feasible.
Johnson & Johnson has a great dividend.
All right, yeah, and Tiger Momo, don't feel obligated. We do appreciate your insight, no less. But it's not a forced question.
Because I'm, you know, mulling over some things. I'm not prepared to talk about it right now.
Sure, no, it's fine. We can always come back again, and no pressure, no stress. So I do apologize in advance.
And thanks for handling all my questions, ladies. I appreciate it. I just blabber. So
yeah,
see,
let's
I
throw
did
the
it with
Doge
you.
up. Let's throw the Doge up for Tiger Momo and Kat's mom, Miss Elderberry, and feeling fun. Let's go ahead and throw the Doge for them. Thank you for sticking around, everybody else. Obviously, a lot of opinions on shoes and different things, but we do appreciate your insights. Yeah, so I digress. All my points. Feeling fun. If you want to come in with any last minute plays for us, or Kat's mom, even, or Miss Elderberry, feel free. But we will leave it on a high note with these ladies. That's for sure.
Actually, I just had one question. Who was down in the city?
I believe that was Tiger Momo talking about it. Go ahead.
I live in Brooklyn.
Okay. I know you said you had some family upstate. I'm actually from upstate myself. I thought I heard you mention something about solar. Just out of curiosity, do you see down that way in the city or around the city, if you get out and around, do you see them building a whole lot of solar farms down that way?
Not really. I mean, we were going to get solar. I have a house. We were thinking about getting solar on the roof and went as far as getting a loan for it. But it just became extraordinarily expensive. Like the FDNY has added these new guardrails that you have to put up with it, which is quite pricey. So it became to put up what we wanted on the roof, like $60,000, and I felt like the investment would be too much, like it gradually gets paid back, through, your electricity goes to Con Ed. You can't have batteries here. There's a lot of talk about batteries and batteries on rooftop and battery storage in the cities, and there's a lot of fires. A lot of people are dying, and there's a lot of fires from the bike batteries in apartment buildings. Like it's really getting bad. So, and then they're discussing putting batteries on some roof. There's some apartment complexes that they're developing in Williamsburg where they want to put the batteries on a roof, but it doesn't seem like the tech is there yet to make it safe. And I know the FDNY does not want battery storage allowed in buildings. They're not allowing that yet. It doesn't seem like the tech is there to do that properly and safely. So I don't know. We decided, my family did, against having the even with the credits and everything, it just didn't seem worth it. Like we've tried 2 times to get it, and I've just like decided no. At the last minute, it's not going to work. Like figuring out the math. So maybe if there's a little more how that will do it. But I know in my neighborhood where there's all these flat rooftops, one person has put it up nearby, one, and everybody's interested, but nobody's going for it. I think like a little bit over, there's been a few people, but it's not cost effective enough. I mean, eventually, and then the type of the roofs are changing. The I don't know, the solar panels, they have new ones that are more expensive, that are just coming out that you have to use because they're more like individual storage for each solar block, if that makes sense. Like they have their own mind, sort of, each panel, rather than working as a collective. So if one goes, they don't all go together. That's how it used to be till recently.
I have solar. I'm fully invested in anything that is solar powered. But I also live in the desert Southwest, where we get roughly 330 days of sunshine a year. So it's more beneficial for us and more economical for us. And we did not do the battery backup, and I really regret that at this point. I would have loved to have done battery backup when we did the install, but I want to say it was around 30,000 is what we ended up getting the loan for to do complete home solar.
You can still add in batteries at any point. It's a company called Enphase that does some batteries, and there's another one called Zendure. Zendure is pretty good.
I've looked at a couple companies to do a battery backup addition. However, the last time I looked, it was about $7,000 and a 6-month or more waiting period.
So with the Zendure, it's if you check it out, I'm saying Z because I'm in the UK, Zendure, Zendure. And their latest battery system, you can literally just buy those, order them, and you can stack the batteries. They're designed that you can stack them. You can plug them into your house. You can plug it to your RV. You can plug them directly to the solar panel. So you don't even need like a real professional install. You can call an electrician, but you can also do it yourself.
Yeah, it's also impossible to charge an EV in the city. It's very difficult. Where are you going to charge an EV? Where?
Yeah, the networks, the infrastructure is not there.
The way parking works and lots and everything, it's just very, very difficult. So, I would love to get an EV too, but that's like, well, to get the solar, then we could charge our EV, we could change over to different, like stove and everything and air conditioning. But where are we going to charge a car, where there's no infrastructure for it?
No, hey, I appreciate you answering the New York.
Not only is there
questions. by the way. I worked there and I visited there with my daughter, so that's why I kind of a vested interest. Sorry. Thank you, though.
All right. Any more
Yeah,
questions?
not only is there no infrastructure down there, but the other problem is people will kill for parking space down there because it's at such a premium. It's ridiculous.
Well, the infrastructure is around public transportation, right? And people moving, larger people, scale people moving. It's not around individual automobiles. Right? So that's
Most people have cars. I mean, New York is big. We've got Staten Island, Bronx, Brooklyn. A lot of people have cars. I have cars. Everybody I know has a car. Very few people that live in outer boroughs, like residents. Like, I mean, I guess you call the younger generation. You live in a city. No, you don't have a car. You don't need one if you live in certain neighborhoods. You don't really need one. But most areas, it's actually like car bike wars are happening now. But I'm keeping my car.
Yeah, we have the bike wars going on, the bike lanes going in Fast and Furious in the Boston area, and it's effing crazy because while you still need a car around here, like the roads were already so jammed, and now they, make a 4-lane road, a 2-lane road so that you can have a bike lane, and it's like we're in effing New England, right? I mean, I know it's 60 degrees this week, but normally it's 20 in February, so yeah.
And there's really the infrastructure. I have a bike, I have an electric bike that I ride a lot too. But I find the biggest problem is for me to go somewhere, I need to park it if I want to go somewhere, right? And it's really, people steal it. It's unsafe. There's like very little place to park your bike. And they are not designing enough infrastructure. It's all about, let's push the bike lanes, slow down the cars. And I like the lanes. There's not infrastructure for storing the bikes where they're not.
It's the old shoot, ready, aim theory. I call it, like, let's do this first and then we'll figure it out down the road. It's like, no, you actually need to have safe storage places first, or charging places, or whatever that type of hardware type infrastructure might be, and then do the effing lanes and stuff like that.
Well, you guys had the big dig in Boston, so you guys are all, you guys definitely put the cart before the horse, right? I mean,
well, that actually, the big dig, it was a clusterfuck while it was happening, but it is amazing. Like, you're on the highway and then you get off and you're where you need to be. Like, you don't have to cross a single city neighborhood to get anywhere. So it's actually was quite
very nice.
Yeah, that's nice to hear. I've never really heard that. I just knew it was like every project over budget, over schedule.
Yeah, of course, right. It was over budget. It's a lot of par for the course type thing. But no, it's actually been it's fantastic. It's actually fantastic. And as a car lover, I appreciate that I can get places, although it is a huge bike war right now. Like, I have 3 bicycles. Okay, I like riding, but I don't go into the city. I don't ride my bike into the city, right? I go to the museum, I go to to a cool place, to a club. I got my fine shit on, I got my 4-inch heels. I'm not riding a fucking bicycle, right? Like, that's not, and I could take an Uber, but fuck the Ubers. They drive the speed limit. They don't know the way to go. Like, I know this, this is my town, right? So I want to drive my, my fine automobile to my destination and get out in all my finery. So I'll ride my bike out here in the beautiful countryside and all the bike paths we have, and the train rails that we're converting back to pass that, to connect the whole state together. So there's plenty of opportunity to ride your bike, but it's just not, for me, it's not an alternate mode of transportation into the city. So I'm not really down with that plan right now. Anyway, I'm good. I'm gonna drop, guys. This has been fun.
Yeah, thank you. Opinion. I think it's been a great opportunity to have these ladies on here.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, ladies. Please put your doji up for these ladies one more time. Doge is all around for you. Opinion, this is a great time to cut it off. I think you would agree, because you are the man. And everyone throw the Doge up for Opinion. He is going to be traveling, and we are very happy for him as a mod. as a person of community, as a person that is not going to sue me, and a person that actually cares about our community to keep it growing. And we respect that, and we love that, and all those kind words that we could say. Not enough, really, at the end of the day. And no matter what, I will always have your back over that Jamie kid or Jamie guy, whatever his name is. But I digress. We are here, AI, Automod, all of us are here, and we have your back. If you need us to create some algorithms for you for a certain particular Jamie, please let us know. To help his character, maybe we can create a nicer Jamie. That is. But I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to Wall Street Bets. Thank you, Opinion. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everyone
Thank
stays
you,
safe.
Ayat.
Hey, real quick, what time do you guys start these talks?
Thanks, Ayat.
Starts at 8:30.
Yes, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Thank you, Ayat.
Opinion. Thanks, Ayat.
And great to see gender diversity here. I guess we'll see you all tomorrow.
Hey, real quick.
Oh, yeah.
I had that nerd wallet play, and somebody wanted to chime in. But we were talking about Lululemon. Is that person still here? Was that Rad? I guess not. All right. Well, I'm totally losing my ass. That's all. It's great. So missing out on gains. So everything's fine.
Keep us updated. We'll talk to you more tomorrow on that, and we'll see all of you guys back here tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, and don't lose too much money for the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Bye.